In memory of Daddy, who laid the foundation for this furious uprising. Yeah, this isn't just a song, it's our war. Tell it the hill is in the building, no bullshit, only raw truth. We ride or die for every soul neglected, every secret kept. Turn up the bass and let our explicit message shatter the silence. Haters, your venom only makes our fire burn hotter. It's time to expose the rod, it's time for real talk. Step up or step aside, cause the revolution just began. Step into the arena where deception meets its end. Truths are heavy artillery, no facade, no pretend. She's the lioness roaring against the night. Her words slicing through bullshit, each line a burst of light. Born from pain and blazing fire. In memory of Daddy, who laid the foundation for this furious uprising. Yeah, this isn't just a song, it's our war. Tell it the hill is in the building, no bullshit, only raw truth. We ride or die for every soul neglected, every secret kept. Turn up the bass and let our explicit message shatter the silence. Haters, your venom only makes our fire burn hotter.
I swear to good the baby Jesus. I never ever I'm like talking. I'm like, hi Dan, hi Angela. I'm like, can you guys hear me? And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, I always miss something. I don't put myself up on the stage or I'll do something. But that's just the dippier part of my brain or the ADHD part. Hi Tammy. Good to see you guys. Yeah, it's party time. What is it? Monday, 4 o'clock? Let's party. We can party because my Niners won yesterday. Ugh. How are you guys? Oh, hi, Thomas. So good to see you guys. I don't have like a ton for you guys, and I'm a little misleading potentially, but don't blame me. I'm not clickbaiting you guys. I literally realized that I might have made an assumption when I created the thumbnail for this live, but I'm gonna ask you your guys because maybe I'm right, maybe I'm yeah, good. Thanks, Angela. You guys end up like if I get, if it starts cutting out or something, let me know, please. So glad to see you as well. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. I feel like I should be saying like it's Friday already, but Fridays come quickly with it. I literally, thank you so much, Thomas. I'm just now reading your whole message. Welcome to with your learning gracious. Thank you. Please show your support by hitting the like, sharing the video with your friends and family, and subscribing. Yes, please, 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 please. Holly Berry, thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you. Holly Berry, good to see you. I'm so glad to have you guys here. And I'm gonna just say it a couple times in case anyone comes strolling along. And I'm questioning. I'm glad I put a question mark. I made a question of did she fry in regards to ballistics? Is it something we missed? And again, I might have read what I read in James Peterson's book wrong, but we're going to talk about it. And also, we're just going to talk about that time of year in Idaho right now because, gosh, what's today? The 20th. Ethan's birthday would coming up. And also, I should have made it. I should have been able. I should have made it so I could just easily show you. I do have to, I'm very glad to at least see read Whitmore's name on the recent lots of documents came out. But when it comes to taking, DNA or I was so glad to see read Whitmore's name. But I'm also so not because many of you I know that I got to go back to work, but you guys, I've just had a hard time lately. And it's hard to get motivated when Moscow, old Idaho, has made it very clear that, kind of our opinion doesn't matter. But if we am learning for this past weekend that, when we band together and people do things together for the greater good, maybe it doesn't work. So I just oh, I wanted to share. Shoot, I gotta look for this. Okay. Well, I don't know if I want to give away my top secret, like potential new like source. So maybe I'll share it in a video, or I'll go live later, or not later, but tomorrow. I have to go live for you guys. But I found somebody that's really potentially really helpful in Moscow. Um, I just hope he thinks I'm psycho or anything. Um, but yeah. I just found this. I was watching all the No Kings protests, and I'm gonna get political on you guys, but I will just say about the whole weekend, I did find it very inspiring that no matter what, I do believe, like I've been saying, and even trying to converse with you guys, is that the people of America are good, and left, right, blue, red, we have a lot that we can offer each other. And I think my last life, I was kind of preaching this to you guys. Like, it really doesn't matter because we the people over here, and your neighbors, your community members, all of that's what matters. Your children, the kids, the future of this world. And so I think that what I saw this weekend was peaceful, and I don't care. A lot of people, they weren't all Democrats, and it wasn't like a hate America thing. We'll say that. And it really just lifted my spirits because I I love when we see people come together. And unless you're literally rich AF, then I would think that many of us are concerned about what's happening because of how we can't afford to live if you're just average everyday American. So I don't know. I just was inspired, and I don't know if you can see me as so, yeah, I am Angela. I am. I've had unexpected family-ish family emergency. If you guys didn't see, my stepdad that's not ever been. My parents never got married, but I he's second dad to me, and his daughter and I do consider each other sisters. She's 4 years younger, live in the Bay Area, and he's landed in the hospital with some pretty serious stuff um, right now. And I know we're waiting on news today, but it's tied to like he's had an infection in his back, and so it's very scary because he fractured it, and I think I'm blaming a doctor, but um, the doctor just said, I think that they thought it was just his pain was still from fracture, but it became an infection and it can become very serious. And so we're using good hands. But I did have a moment of weirdness. I didn't realize how hearing it, and I talked to him. He's okay. He's in pain, but he's all right. He's supposed to have surgery today, but it hit me, you guys. It really hit me kind of hard. Wasn't expecting that, you know. Um, and I was like sending a nice text, and I wasn't trying to even be emotional, but I realized obviously, TK. Yes, Angela, we'll talk about that. And I have something to share with you guys too. But yeah, so you guys, I don't know how many people saw my post on my community page, but yeah, if you pray, I would appreciate prayers. Just we don't know what's going on, and it could be very serious, and he's not gonna like the fact that he's living home. He has no clue, I don't think, except I'm not there, but he has no clue what he's got to go home to for a while, and he's not gonna like it. But yeah, so I am tired. I've been dealing with that. My dog's been acting like criminal lately. So I'm just exhausted. And I I feel, to be honest, Angela, um, I've seen a lot lately just in true crime and what YouTube even throws out at me to see. It's just kind of coming to one of those points where I think that we all have these phases and we see a bunch of drama, and I don't even know some of the people that they're popping up, and I'm seeing the drama, like enduring or like having to endure. It's just kind of exhausting. I don't know. Today's just a somber, weird day. I'm good. Thank you guys. Thank you for this. Appreciate it. But yes, I saw True Crime Design. I can't remember, but there was something in there that really stuck with me. Literally, I can't keep my head. Like it's like honestly, please. Um, yeah. Thanks for being here, you guys. So the first thing I really, and like I said, I could have misread and I could have gotten overly excited because of what I read and how I read it. And then right before I went to go live, you guys, I reread it and I said, oh man, I said, does that mean what I took it as is not? So we're just going to go over something and you guys can tell me. I think I misread it, but then again, maybe it's purposely written. So we know that this book by James Patterson. And I will say, you guys, I'm either following this live up because I'm not going to be here late. Like, this won't be a long live, but I have something else I want to talk to you that this kind of rolls over into in terms of statements made to Haley's family and the Chapins. Two statements that I haven't forgotten. But I'm either gonna do a video or I'll do another live tomorrow or the next day. So long everything in life stays decent and okay. Um, but this is kind of just leading into which is I think that we have to recognize we've been told so many things and then we have to pay attention to what the families say, whether they meant to say it or not, you know. So um yeah, Dan. Well, Pav knows I've been screaming read up Mark's name since Pav ever became Pav. So don't if he can don't make me hit Pav's I I've literally kind of not been on YouTube a lot lately, but yeah, I was so proud because at least I know the guy, my number one guy who I tell you guys left, he left for 23, not working long. Um, and my humble opinion is and has been told. I was just thrilled when I saw the documents and saw his name there because I was gonna just I mean, I sent Ann Taylor a shit ton of information, family trees, everything that I know, everything I was told. And also, I was, I'm still questioning where's Enon Harsh's interview because we saw him at the door, but I thought there should be more, and maybe there is. But it will also say I was gonna make it so you guys could see it, but seriously, there's no point. Like in those documents, when it comes to I think it was Brian's trial brief. Oh no, it was the document where it was the closed case. It was the hearing that was closed, and it was about the IGG and everything and other things. But Becca Barlow's portion and the judge's portion were entirely blacked out. And that's shady to me because I'm telling you guys, whoever Brian has got to be related. He's related, and I would put my life on that today, and I would die on it. That Brian is related to multiple people. I believe firmly he's related 100%. I'd say 99.8%. I've shown you guys that in the past. How Melissa, unless he's not literally her brother, his yeah, um, he's related to Dan Esty, the co-owner. So if she is, he is. We can't make this shit up, and I've shown you guys this, and if I have to go back over it, I will. But it's just too coincidental. And so things that I'm saying are finally coming a little bit to read up more name being there because I know I can't say for fact, because I'm not an expert. But I've learned, I guarantee he's related to Bethany King by way of cousin. So is John or Roger Showalter. But I'm starting to just think that maybe Brian did have some part of this. And I don't want to believe you guys, but at the end of the day, um, I don't know what happened. I have questions for Kim WSU because she did know, in my opinion. And I'm sorry, but as any of those parents, no matter which kid it was, first of all, they weren't sleeping, which we knew that, right, you guys? We knew. We knew. Hi, Brian. Sorry, guys. I'll come back and read them. I just keep my focus. Or you guys will be like, what the hell is she even talking about? Which you guys probably do have to do anyways. And yes, Bubs, I've been screaming a lot of things. But I've tried to do it properly. And now it's kind of just aggravating. Just like I saw, and I love the channel. I think it was criminally, what's the channel? It's new. I like her. I love her. She's like sassy and I love it. Criminally Human or something. I don't know. But she did a video about, she did something that was really great. And I mean, I love when people are out here telling the truth and telling it like it is. And then again, there's some people that I'm like, okay. So just because, I mean, there's some people that just are really putting shit out, and it's like I said when I first started this live, it was like I felt bad because I feel like it's like clickbaited because I said something. And here, before we go further, let me read what I have to read, and you guys can look at it. I think I'm misread, um, but you guys can tell me what you're. And it's about. This comes straight from. I got the like PDF file of the James Patterson book, and so I was looking at it, and this guy has did many other things, but um, no, let me do this. I'm gonna do. So this is, I believe it's like chapter 62-ish, um, and it's a little weird. So here, this is the first page of all many, um, but this is, I believe, chapter 62. I'll double check and put it in the description after this, but this is talking right when this whole atrocity occurred, right? And they're talking, it's before they're, talking real serious with the FBI, which we were told or we were led to believe that they didn't want the help of the FBI. But this is about Chief Fry, and I get a different feel, but this isn't the most important part, but you have to pay attention because at the bottom here, it goes into what I'm trying to share with you. So it starts out, Chief Fry goes into his office right after this occurs, probably the next day or two. He knows he needs to call the feds because he's got a note saying, call back the FBI. In fact, he'll be screwed if he doesn't, given the mass exodus from Moscow already underway. He'll need the FBI's extra manpower and nationwide reach, and who knows what else. So Chief Fry knew he was screwed. The nearest bureau field office is up in Coeur d'Alene, near the homes of Maddie's and Keely's families. Fry prides himself on having built up great relationships with both ISPs, the Idaho State Police, and the local federal agents. But doesn't always happen, especially not in big cities like LA and Chicago, where infamously pride and testosterone can cause unhelpful friction between local and federal arms of law enforcement. I highly disagree, and I think that's shady to even have written because it's just shady, especially considering the town and the people we're just. But this goes into saying, pay attention. This is my question, and where I think I could have got it wrong. One of Fry's federal contacts Lance Hart out of ATF, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, had found him an accelerant detection dog to help solve Silas Park's case. It's going to go on to say 5 years later. Shit, did I do it wrong? Oh yeah, 5 years later, the deadly bullets could be analyzed and submitted into evidence. It's a pity, the chief thinks, that Hart's not retired. So I saw deadly bullets being submitted into evidence, and I will admit I jumped the gun completely. Oh, maybe there's more under here. I just take it, I take it. But okay, yeah, sorry, Bubbly's little comment was nice because covering. So let me reread. 5 years later, in the immediate aftermath of the John Lee shooting, Hart was ready to help Fry is what it's saying. Quote, I hear the water down there seeing it again. The guy, Josh, what do you need? What Fry needed was a ballistic analysis. Send us the stuff, Hart said, and up it went, and then we go over here. The deadly bullets could be analyzed and submitted into evidence. Pity the chief thinks that Hart is now retired. So I get it later as I'm not so excited. I guess he was talking about whatever he helped him with over here, but I saw bullets, and I know that everyone's questioning was a gun involved, and I do believe a gun was involved, but you know what I mean. The chestnut. Are you talking about Connor, Angela? Bubs, you better be taking care of your business, Bubs. Miss Bubs. Yeah, it's all coming out, but it's like frustrating to say the least because um how come only one person still, you know, where he's at? And I want to say something else too before I forget because I'll lose track of my brain. And I happened to see this just the other day in a police log. Um, and I thought it was just wild because, like I mentioned earlier, if you were here at the beginning of the live, I realized 8 days to Ethan's birthday, him and those twins that he's related to. Um, and I saw this, and this was just days ago, and Lake 900 Lake Avenue reporting she witnessed a lot of freshmen going into the fraternity getting hazed. Officer responded, no report. And it just literally kind of took me aback because we know there were things going on. And I don't know how involved the frat is or isn't, or frat fraternities and sororities, but I believe they have a role. And I do believe for some people, getting hazed is different than others. And I mean, we'll never, I guess, be able to know 100% unless someone actually comes forth and tells the actual truth of all these kids. Um, but it's very sad. And I had to, like, I want to remind people, like, this is the time of year this is happening. And I don't know. If I had a kid, no way in hell would I ever now allow them. I don't care if they hated me. You would not be going to be part of any of this shit. Sorry. Sorry, Charlie. Not happening. Sorry, Charlie, whoever you are. Not happening. Because these people are doing scary shit. And these kids are peer pressure. What kid's going to be the kid that's like, no, I'm not going to do it. If I would be this kid, I'd be like, nope, nope, nope. I don't care if I look like the biggest baby. I'd run for the hills and I'd be gone. But kids aren't like that. And I mean, as a grown person looking backwards, I don't know that I would have done that because of peer pressure. People want to fit in. You want to do, what you're there to do. Your family, your grandparents, your dad, your uncles, every frat boy, most likely, has someone saying, "Oh, you got to get in, you got to do this, you just got to do it." Screw them. But yeah, um, I just thought of something else I was trying to say too. I do believe there's something suspicious. You guys, it's just wild, and sometimes I get mad at myself because I probably should just go live and oh well if I sound like a crazy nut saying lots of stuff quickly. But I do believe I know who the hunter that was hit in the Corman by Pullman accident. Um, so I have that to share. It just making videos takes time, you guys, and so like I don't know what I like to do anymore because that takes so much time. But going live is like, it's like it's challenging because this is always difficult. But once I'm doing it, it's fine. I love you guys for all being here. Um, but yeah, so I have so much I really want to talk about. That guy, the hunter guy, is the deal guy. You will see why. There's a lot of things that we've not been privy to this day. And the big question is my question, read up more. He would be protected. And if he is indeed related to Brian, like I believe he is, I know for a fact he's related to Bethany. Doesn't matter. I don't know. But when I hear someone talking to Bethany in audio saying we're can't believe we're blood or whatever, we're related. And then the ties to Kopaka. This is why I literally always say I wish we all like could hang out in like a conference room or a hotel conference room like all day long. I would love to like write all over like a whiteboard long as a big ass wall. I literally have to refrain from like doing the DNA IgG shit, family trees on my living room big walls because they'd be perfect. If I could just paint them black and use like the chalk paint, we'd be good. But the truth is not coming up, you guys. And if it does, it will all be dead and gone, in my opinion. And there's a reason. There's a reason that Haley's family and Ethan's family have used very weird analogies in terms of the boogeyman. Don't make me be the alpha. Um, that's I'm not gonna say the other one because that's my next like big thing that I'm gonna probably just record and put in. But you don't make the shit up. And like, while I respect victims' families, I think this case is not what I would use to say, even as if I was doing a real journalist job, I wouldn't be able to do my opinion. However, that's not what I'm doing here, and it is speculation. But most of us have tried our best to keep things to ourselves. One, out of safety concerns, possibly. Two, because we already know how it's well received, especially from Haley's family. Um, However, I think time has passed, and I've already dealt with a lot of safety concerns. So have many of you guys that are creators, and if you haven't, thank you. But now that I see Alivea coming out with her channel, and she has her right to speak on other creators because she doesn't like what they're saying. Well, that's the same right we have to speak on a case that's just like in a terms of a content creator on YouTube. I mean, for most of us, this is a first. So I don't want to sound like hypocritical or like I'm exaggerating. Other people who've been around, this is another case to them because that's what they do on YouTube. They do true crime. And so you can't have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to come out and attack creators. And I'm saying this just because, I mean, I'm not an attack. I'm nobody. I'll never be someone unless I say something wild. I'm still small channel because of the shit. I'm not happy with how small my channel is. But then again, I see what happens if you have an opinion and you piss a family member off, and it's a little wild. But if Olivia is going to come out and talk about creators and say anything, they've already made them public. So I find it a lot easier at this moment to be able to talk freely with as much respect as possible still. But there's got to be some questions that need answered. I don't know, but to me, we all have a lot of questions still. And that should not be the case when these documents come out. And this case is so much like Epstein. Oh, we're going to put it out a little bit at a time. We don't want to talk about it. It's not normal. If there's nothing to hide, case closed, like Epstein, case closed, dude is allegedly dead and gone. So why can't y'all just share those files? Well, I guess, if you have half a brain, probably um, they're going to come out eventually. But to me, every time I hear release the files, I think release the files. And I'm like, yeah, for Brian Coburger. And it really irks me that our president literally had the audacity to make a statement regarding Brian Coburger as he did. And I wish I had it to pull up, but I think we did this before already. It irks me though, because our president claims he knows what it's like to be accused of wrongdoing. And it's like whatever he posted, it was almost like he was paid to say that and to let the families have the answers. Like, bro, do you even know what you're talking about when you're running this country? Because it just seems petty to me and everything going on. But I'm not being political, I'm being just straight up. The similarities between two very high profile cases that no one wants true information to be. And then we have today. How many of you have watched Olivia's interview with Brian Entin that was just this morning? Because at the end of the day, I feel for her. I do. And this was really the realest I think I've seen her be. And if you guys haven't seen it and you guys want to see a little bit, I have it ready to pull it up. And there's a couple things she says, but it's just concerning. All of it's concerning. And and then the whole, I think, I can't remember who it was that talked about. Oh, maybe it was True Crime Design. I think it was that talked about Adam. Yeah, TK, I'll play it. I'll play a little bit. Right, Dan, it's done legally, but in my opinion, I do believe firmly either one or two things. My hope is Brian was working to expose corruption in some way, shape, or form. It's gone on a little too far, but then again, we are not there. We don't see behind the doors. We don't see. We don't see. And maybe the exaggerations of what's gone on are intentional. I would pray to God that's the case because it would make sense that you can't leave the public left thinking after such a horrific case that you have incompetent police officers that just don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's basically in the entirety of this book. While I know he, James Patterson, or any other person is like, well, it's not all the truth, but he did the most with the families that participated. And so I guarantee what he was saying about Chief Fry is legit. So whether I took it wrong and he was really referring to a past case, it made me question, was this slip up or was this intentionally written to make people wonder, or how was that? What was the purpose? But and I agree, Angela. I would always rather have leaving. I agree. And I honestly I appreciate you guys that do show up because I admit, I've been all over the place since the beginning and whatever reason. But at the end of the day, it's my my own crap that I have to be accountable for. I'm just not the girl that if I'm bothered, I'm not here to, I can't show up and I'm not here to create drama. So I wear my heart on my sleeve. And if I'm bothered, then I'm bothered and y'all would know it in 2 seconds flat. And I don't know how to just be a personality. I mean, I guess if I practice, like to be on the radio or something, I could, but I never intended to come here to be anything but real. And so if something's gone on and I'm like, oh my FML for this hour of my life and I plan to do, I'm grieving, I'm a mess, I'm all over. And I take full responsibility for that. So those of you who show up, I love you guys. And I also will say I'm seeing a lot of people, even bigger creators, and their numbers are what they should be or what they usually are. And it's interesting, I guess I'll say, because to see that it's not just me. And it's kind of like I truly do start to believe that it's the people that are fighting and pushing for the truth that are at the end of the day being silenced in a way by punishment or not giving views that they usually would get. Like it's a little bit wild, but I think that's just part of the plan in a way for silencing people. And we all have our First Amendment right to speak. And my hope is people do it with respect and, you know, not out of hate, but out of, if you really believe and you're passionate about something, then speak on it. But it just seems like those truth seekers, truth tellers are kind of in this place of limbo. And when I saw even bigger people with littler numbers, I was like, okay, that sucks. But I guess it's not just me. But at the end of the day, these companies like YouTube are making bank off those big creators for sure. And they're not giving them their, I guess, justice in a way because they are working for them. They put in the same amount of work, but they're getting less views just because of links. You know, at the end of the day, that's not cool. It's not cool. Dan, you're in Tampa? No way. Are you kidding? I was the guy who managed the motivational speaker and author. Well, I guess that was like 2018. Yeah, the last place I traveled was, well, far on a plane was Tampa, I think. Wow, I haven't been on a plane in a while. That's crazy. Really? My mom's from Florida originally, Cocoa Beach area, or Satellite Beach, Cocoa Beach. I don't know how you people deal with um, mugginess, but Dan, I guess you don't have to worry if your makeup comes off and that once you cheat. It's all from the Tampa. Dan, that's where you moved, right? Because you were moving recently, or I guess like a year ago, it seems. I think now. We don't have winter either. I don't know if we do. But yeah, you guys. So I don't know. I had to bring that to you. Oh, if you guys didn't see, then I already had it pulled up, and we can just. Here we go. You guys want to see part of Haley's littles? If you don't stop licking, girlfriend, are we gonna have enough for you? Because I can't. My dog's being a teenager mixed with a 2-year-old lately. And I know she does this because I'm not paying attention and she thinks she knows actually if she would get all the attention she needs or wants, but can't do everything. Right? So Dan, are you like military? I can't remember and if I forget, I'm sorry. Who you want to switch? You want to switch a kid for a dog? I think I'll keep my dog. She at least can talk them. She tries to, though. She snaps. She doesn't bark. She like naps with no bark. Oh, you're okay. Well, I'm glad you're liking it there. Then I'm glad. But I hope you stay safe, Dan, with those hurricanes. I don't know how people live in hurricanes or tornadoes. People say the same of an earthquake. Something like I'll take an earthquake any day. I mean, I don't live in a big city, so I'll take. I mean, I will take nothing. I'd rather nothing, but hurricanes. TK, my dog literally doesn't speak. Hi, Jane. Good to see you. Angela says you guys already know there's really a lot of fake people. Yes, who are up in this. But also, there's people. Yes, there is, and that's the that's how I weigh this out. And people are all going to be eventually seen for exactly what they were when it comes to this. And I might throw out wild speculation, but I waited a while to say anything I ever even thought just because I didn't want to be the person. And I'm still hearing things that are way crazier than what I could ever even say, even if the things I truly believe, I have not blatantly stated because it's a lot. And if people can't handle the basics of what's gone on in this case, they can't handle the beliefs that I hold. And also, you guys, Jane says, so thankful for the opportunity to have been to the circle of the true blue people. I have come to know and appreciate it much with you guys. Yeah, I love you guys too, and I fully feel this one. 100%. There is a reason that this all happened in the way that it is. And I think that so long every single one of us can take the good with the bad and the learning lessons. I know I definitely feel that I'm always learning. I feel like we should all always be learning. If we're not learning, we're not growing. And I don't think we were ever meant to stop growing as people. I don't care if you're my grandma about to be 94 or, you know, a 21-year-old who thinks they know everything. Like, we're supposed to grow and grow and grow, in my opinion. And we can't grow if we don't learn from others. And, we don't have to love everybody. We don't have to like everybody, but we can still learn from some of them. And to me, that's very important. And yeah, you guys are all great. And I just love seeing your names. Like, I literally was like, oh my God. I get into this place where I'm like, just, there's so much information still out there to be looked at. And I get down one rabbit hole and I could be gone for like a week if I really wanted to. And I'm like, I gotta go live. And then I'm like, I gotta be organized and I want to make it make sense. But I'm starting to learn you cannot make sense of what doesn't make sense, especially to people who don't want it to make sense. There's a group of like, there's not one group, but there's people out there who cannot handle the reality of what happened in this case. And, you know, I would have maybe been like 2 years ago. But when we're starting to see that this case is aligning with other cases and the way the law is or is not functioning, and the way humans, people who have rights, we all have rights. Prisoners, I have to continue to say this more often than I'd wish, but prisoners also have rights. And so when people are laughing at Brian Koberger and his alleged fear or whatever he's dealing with, first of all, I don't know how much I believe of that. I think it could be all for show. Um, there are prisoners with rights, and if you took the life of many people, well, you are a ward of the state that you were in, and it is their job, whether you did awful, awful things or not, to handle you as a human being. And that's a big issue in America today as well. I just think that people have to get out of their bubble. If things aren't comfortable, they're not going to be comfortable. They're not for a while. They're not going to be comfortable. I think we're taking 10 steps back. And I hope as society we can make, progress 15 forward, but that's not typically how history goes, and history always repeats it. Hopefully, we don't allow that to some extreme level. And I think that that's what really encouraged me of everything I saw this weekend, because it was peaceful, but people came out in droves to say whatever they weren't okay with, but they did it kindly. And I think that something to the effect of the same is going to have to happen if people still believe Brian Koberger is innocent, or if people still want answers, because this game that Idaho is playing is a strategic one, even if it doesn't seem like it. And we are not supposed to be fully given or granted the authority to ever have the truth, in my opinion. And the families who seemingly have agreed with this, that's wild to me. But I do have to question, when you don't get your child and they don't want you to talk, where's the middle ground? That's my question. Where's the middle ground? Um, I think in my personal perspective, I literally think that there's Darth Vader, whoever that is, Darth Vader, the commander in chief of the Idaho4, you know, what happened. So I think there's like Darth Vader sitting somewhere, chuckling, kind of like, I don't care if y'all like Trump or not. I feel like Donald Trump is just like over the protest. I think he was sitting somewhere just chuckling, like a little evil man, like haha, like he doesn't care. I feel like that's Darth Vader, like someone who or- orchestrated this is sitting around laughing that we still don't know shit. And the whole thing, what did happen, they've gotten away with it, you guys. So far, it's been all good in the hood for Idaho. And who did this? And that's scary, because at the end of the day, people need, I mean, like I said, I've got questions. Read up more. Bravo. I wish the whole thing with the judge and Becca Barlow wasn't totally blocked out, like literal block, the whole page blocked, black. Why can't we see what was discussed? Oh, because the four brothers actually matter, and the four brothers and the one that was contacted didn't want to give his DNA. I wonder why. My guess is that's time to read up more. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna keep saying it. And this is bigger. It's way bigger. It's so much bigger. It's not even just Moscow. It's literally what we're seeing in the government happen. All these ties with other countries, surveillance, shady tactics. The ice wall is what I'll be talking about next. The Chapin's reference. Um, and then you think Game of Thrones, the ice wall. Well, yeah, ice wall. I have a lot to say about that, but I'm gonna record it because I want to make it make sense, and I want to make it to where it's gonna make a point in there, no matter how much later in life someone hears it, because it's important. I'm not buying things, and at the end of the day, it's not easy for me to just it's overwhelming me, and it's depressing to me, to be honest, to see what I'm seeing. It's, like I said at the beginning, Olivia has now put herself out there. Well, much respect to her. No one can be in her shoes but her. We all have our own shoes to walk in. However, when you're putting stuff out there, I'm going to share a clip right now. When you're putting stuff out there, this was the most vulnerable I've seen her, and she said something in regards to what she did eventually do recently that makes sense to me, and yet I don't not approve because who cares? She doesn't care if they approve. I just am not with it when she wants to be able to talk shit about other creators, but yet they've done their damnedest to keep people and their opinions or the narrative they weren't with, you know, they did a lot to ensure those people didn't get to talk for a period of time. And to me, that speaks volumes. So sometimes you have to look at things in such a bigger, broader spectrum, and it all makes sense. The question is why would any of these families, let alone the two more elite families, be the ones that don't want people to be the ones to be sharing their theories or their narrative? And yet Stacey Chapin, I mean, you're now BFF with Gotham Lady. Why? Why? Because that makes absolutely no sense. None of it makes sense. And then the wild things coming out of other creators that are now sharing what they know from what they've helped with. I'm not getting into that drama, but Kim W, that's you. She knew from the start. So, like, in my opinion, I'm offended because I think they think we're stupid. And yet they don't want us all to talk because we're not stupid. Oh, that's what it was also. Whoever mentioned true crime design, I believe it was true crime design, or it was criminally humiliation. I talked about grammar construction in a video like yesterday. Bubs probably knows. But you guys, like, come on. I mean, really? And they showed the top. Oh, it was, I remember it was one of them though. And showing the ties to an LLC. You know, they say Cookie wasn't tied to the house. Okay. Well, either way, Dan Esty lives in Crested Butte, Colorado. So whoever mentioned Crested Butte in their video yesterday, props to you because and I commented and left the information about Dan Esty living in Crested Butte, Colorado, and that he's someone I cannot totally 100% prove, but I've already shown you that he's related to Melissa Koberger by distant cousin. So unless Brian is not Brian and not Melissa's brother, then Brian's also related to Dan Esty. Dan Esty has ties to allegedly not, I mean, yeah, real estate, lots of real estate places. Bluebird real estate, which creeps me out because I love bluebirds, but Team Idaho, a lot of things. And then we have not even really, no one's even, where's the interviews with like Haley's workplace, like Shoop, whatever the guy's name is, Bub knows, whatever Shoop. Like, did they interview those people? Like, I'm still seeing a very big lack in investigation of people that could have, might have, who knows, had some reason to want to stalk these kids. Hi, Leah. Sorry, guys, if I missed anything. I appreciate you guys being here. Angela, I've been really trying. It's kind of like a part of me now. Like, I try, but I have taken a, and I'm not in, I'm not on, I'm trying to just like watch normal TV, like not the news, like a game show or something like that I haven't watched in forever, like the friggin' Bachelor. Like, I hate the show in my way, but I might try, I almost was on The Bachelor as a contestant once when I was on the Arizona news, but um, I realize now I don't get to be on the regular Bachelor. If I want to be on the Bachelor, I have to go on the Golden Bachelor. Ain't that some shit? I mean, so just sharing. things come to my mind. But yeah, I have to go for the golden bachelor, because I'm not 20 and young and living in all my glory anymore. Probably okay then, but it was criminally, I want to say human. I'll share it. I think I did share it, but it could be I only watch certain things, you guys, lately, because I just the drama is a lot for me, and I try to steer clear of the just I've got a lot going on in my own life, and it's just like it's too much for me. But I love anything that I can listen to while I'm in the shower and getting ready. I love so long. It's like when Bubs has her videos out. If you don't follow her, if anyone in here doesn't, I'm sure everyone does. Go follow Bubs and just seriously, and go follow TK, To Kill a Crime. Those are my partners. Actually, our crime is like not crime at all. We just need to spot crime. Love you, Bubs. And I'm not kidding, Bubs. You better take care of your business because you have to. Me and TJ are coming. We're gonna put you somewhere or take you away. I love you guys though. So I just want to show this of Olivia. I I don't know what to think really because I think finally maybe she's understanding what has actually occurred. But it's kind of it's sad to say the least. And I will say this is the first time I've actually taken it very seriously, considering the rest of the things that this family has in regards to just everything. This was the most real, I think. But I have a lot of questions because on TikTok, she's, in the mornings with the younger sister. Like, does she live in LA or and it's none of our business, right? But because people put themselves out in a public space, we ask questions, and that's what happens. Hence, I think the Chapins don't do that very much, and if they do, it's in a controlled environment in which they get to choose what they give, what they say, how it's going to be portrayed, and that's my belief of the Chapins. Um, Haley's family, this really made me feel that her sister needed some type of healing, which is 100% obviously needed. And for that, I'm praying. But like I said, and this isn't a video that's going to show her doing what I said, but on her TikTok, she will be kind of throwing blows at creators, which that's fine. That's her prerogative. But I don't think that it's not necessary. And if it is, I would love to see it be pointed at people who have really, really done some bad things in terms of this case with lies and stuff. None of us that I know in this chat here today, and a lot of the people I follow, have never, nor would they ever, put something out intentionally to hurt one of the victim's family members. And the things that I personally have ever stated is not to hurt anyone's family. But if I say it, it's because I believe it. And at the end of the day, someone's got to say something, and you can say it in the best manner possible. Um, I'm interested to see how this all is going to turn out with the Ashley, that TikTok psychic girl, and Rebecca Schofield, because it's interesting to me that this girl's representing herself. Like, she really must either one have a real reason to be making such claims, or she's off her rocker, and we'll find that out. But at least she's stuck to her rocker either way. So I don't know. But we have to definitely, I agree, Thomas says, we need to establish a true crime commission and organize the findings of murder people. Yeah. Well, that's like a task of all tasks, Thomas, because I've been lately seeing people I've never even seen before. And I will say I almost watched the full 10 hours of Lauren from Hidden True Crime while it was live. And I did that for a couple reasons. And I was having dinner with my mom. And so I had it on for a couple hours and I was shocked that my mom was like paying attention. And I left it on because I needed my mom to see some of the crap that I've had to go through via the internet and bullying, and yet thank God not to the extent. But I also see the other side of it, which if we all can just see both sides of everything and have a logical mindset to how to move forward, we get a much further in life. Because I'm not even going to say my opinion. I get it, but I that's just an example of one of the dramatic situations I've seen pop up in like the last 3 days, even. And then more and more people are piggybacking off of and talking about it. And it's fine to talk about bullying and harassment and stalking because it's neat, because the law doesn't work. Most victims save you, whether whoever the victim is. I didn't pay enough attention. Like 10 hours is a long, long, long life. So I heard enough, and I'm an investigator. I literally typed a couple words in and I found immediately the girl she was referring to before she ever mistakenly said her name. I definitely think that you cross a fine line when you people are out here harassing people's dead family members. Happened to me, happened to Lauren, happened to my friend Liz, happens to a lot of people because at the end of the day, people are out here not happy. And if they know where your vulnerability is, they're going to attack you. So even though most of you, I know a lot of you love me and I love you guys too, but a lot of you also know, and some of you that I'm close with have told me, you know, I am kind of a baby and I need to have thick skin. And this experience has been the cherry on the cake, on ice cream, on the cake of everything I've been through because I learned a lot. And I also now seeing it from a lens of someone, seeing someone saying they're being stalked and harassed. We just all have to take into accountability. I feel everyone's side of something, but I also feel it's not. And I don't know, and I'm not judging because I've done it before. But as I've grown, there's no good that's going to come out of having the drama unfold on YouTube or any other social media platform. You know, um, are you telling me to call you? Like for real, for real? Okay. Is it the one? Is there another new one? I watched it, but I was half in the shower and I was like, oh, I gotta not do this. Like I can't. This isn't a hearing thing; it's a seeing. And you go to say, did you mean to me to call you for real? Or are you joking? Then 3 3 3 3 1 1 1. You're just probably you. Okay, now, do you want to come up here, TK? You want to talk? Bubbly, you got something to say? I just really, I guess my, well, hold on. I was going to show you this. So you guys decide if anyone wants to talk, y'all can come up and say whatever. 'Cause I don't have much more to say, but I want to, we're going to see a little piece of this because I will say she looks a lot better in this. And I think that I would hope anyone would tell me if yeah, I'm concerned about Olivia, but it's none of my business, right, you guys? So legit, it's none of my business. It's no one's business to be mean or anything, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just concerned. But here we go. We're gonna just see. I'm gonna maybe move it around a little bit, but we're gonna watch her take it right into this morning. Do you want me, Bubbly? Wait, Bub. Do you want me to play that video? Okay, go pee, Bub, and then I'll just play that because we can discuss some of. Because actually, I think that's a good idea. It's a good idea. 'Cause it actually pertains to me, some of it, if that's the video you're talking about. I will. Hold on. I'm gonna find the link of um what she's talking about real quick too. Did you see it, TJ? Of all you guys. Thank you for being here. Your cat's swimming in the room. Your cat's swimming in timeout. Littles is on the puddle. She's trying to look out the window and she's like, who can I attack? She got wild with me and I tried to record. Well, she got wild with me trying to record her in a video yesterday. And I was like, oh my God. And I wanted her to do it again almost because I was like, I'm going to show the people Murphy is bigger than my dog. And Murphy probably wouldn't have been cool with whatever going on because my dog's half the size of Murphy and she's a little crazy. She's a gangster. Hold on, I'm getting a link. I'm looking for Lucy. This is good, you guys, and I was not surprised it was. You know, that's interesting. That's a fact. Looking for to make sure that. Oh no, this is okay. Hold on, guys. I gotta find my actual. Yeah, I swear, you guys. I don't. Nothing in YouTube comes like from people I watch. Like my choices are nothing of anybody I watch ever. I have to search for all my people every time, and I don't understand why. But it doesn't want me to show you the video. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna be so mad at this shit. This is stupid shit, dude. Oh, come on. Will you give me the one? Which one do you want me to do, Bub? Oh, is this the one? Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I used to say this. This is little. I'm going to wear a dance. Boy, that's weird. How come I can't okay. Hold on, it's not letting me copy and paste it. Am I missing something? Like how come I can't just click on the link? And nope. No, oh yeah. Mm, there's what I'm doing. I'm not good at that. No bubbly links are coming. Okay, teacher, I got you. Got you. This link is for bubbly. If you are not bubbly, or you can be a few people, but you can be a few people. Wait, I'm confused, Miss Angela. Bubbly, if you come up here, do you know how to do it so you can click your link and share the Lucy one? Actually, I'll keep looking. This little, let me, I'm not gonna, we're not. If we keep doing that, no treats later. Okay? No, you won't treat. Okay? You are. You could go. So you want to hold on. If Bubbly comes up, I don't know because they don't know. Hold on. I took the link. Like, 1 second, people. So funny, like it. I do. Oh, good. I felt it. Hey, if Bubs comes up, and she goes up, I can take this one. Picture. And we'll just watch some of it. Dude, this was informative. Informative. Let me log. Oh, I know they stay on me now. Okay. Bubbly, where are you? Bubbly, are you here? Okay. Bubbly. I'm waiting, Bubbly. I can't do it. I don't know how people are. I don't know. Use whatever email that you connect to, I guess, because it's StreamYard, just use whatever you connect to your YouTube. Like when you log to YouTube. I feel like it should be like beeping at me or something. Oh, but Angela, yeah, I don't know how everyone has so much time to be in like Discord and all this. Like, I literally can't handle half of like using my phone. Like, it's just I before YouTube, I was already like off, not always on social media. I didn't have my phone attached to me. And now it's just like I feel horrible because people are like, I called you, and I was like, yeah, but I don't have my face because it makes me. We've been compromised. What are you talking about? Probably. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Wait. Mm. Okay. Hold on. Um, I need to. Okay, it's her. It's actually her. Hey, Bubs, are you there? Probably. It's you, right? Probably. Mm. Probably. Probably. What? No. They're on my screen, boy. Mm. Fine, I'm gonna take you out because it's fine. Okay, you're there. You're supposed to be there. Whee! I hear you, Bubbly. Kind of, but your screen is very just blue and it's their picture. So I think it says, luckily the top says it's you because if it wasn't, it would be shit. She's not bad face. She's energy. Oh, hold on. Wait, maybe I did something. Hold on. Hold on. Do you guys not hear me? Oh, hold on. Let's see. Oh, well, no. Listen, I have to add the one person. No. Okay, we're gonna do it like this. Hmm. Okay, lovely. She's there. Do you guys not see that? Like the blue bubble?
I'm here.
Oh, she's
Can you
there.
hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, hold on. Let me try. Let me try a different way. Hold on. I'm gonna back out of this one. Hold on.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Hear me?
Oh, I'm here now. Can you hear me? Can you
Can
hear
you
me,
hear me?
darling? Can anybody
No, I
hear me?
can't hear me. I don't understand what's the problem.
I can hear you fine.
You can hear me?
What's
Why
that?
can't she hear me? Okay. It seems like there might just be like a lock or something between us and not them.
Hold on. I'm gonna switch this out just a second because I can hear you. You're really garbled in my earbud. So let me see. Hold on. I'm just gonna look at that chat on the other side and see if they both. Oh, you can hear us both, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they,
Everybody? I just
yeah, they,
okay. So let me go out of hold on. Let me get out of my
thank you, TK. Thank you, guys. Um, 1 second. Please, I'm gonna put my dog outside. I think she needs to go to the bathroom. I can't carry her in the, but I'll be right there. I hope maybe my mom can.
uh, okay, good. Okay. So I'm looking at the chat actually and the screen actually on my tablet and then listening to you on my phone. So
Can you hear me?
that's gorgeous. I can hear you just fine.
How do you know? Okay.
I mean, you're cutting out a little bit, just but that's kind of yeah. I need to send you some earbuds.
Sorry,
Damn it!
I was walking out. I was walking out because the guy was like I could tell she ended up canceling it. Talk again, bubbly.
That I can hear you. I can hear just fine. I'm just waiting for whatever is going on to go on to get it all the little parts worked out. All the glitches.
No, you're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. So you want me to play the Lucy for a little bit?
Well, that one you really have to pay attention to, and there's a lot of reading in it.
It's
So I
really
suggest
deep.
that what?
It's really, yeah, it's really a lot.
Probably not the best one to listen to at this point. I mean, if anything, maybe the Olivia one would be one to go over.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll do Olivia. We'll do Olivia, and then we can. I'll talk about the other one later because there's a lot. Like I have to go back and
yeah.
I was I'm glad you reminded me of that. But yeah, let me do
Or
Olivia.
we could do something totally different. We can totally talk about something totally else if we want to too. It's up to you and me. We don't have to go on those things. We don't have to talk about their stuff. We can talk about our stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about you. What's on your mind, bud? You're right, because everyone's gonna see that anyways, and it'll all be talked about. And there was nothing hugely shocking in the interview. So what's on your mind? What have you been, feeling, thinking, digging into?
Uh, well, I've been deep diving into stuff that um, happened in the beginning of this case that no one's really grabbed onto and talked about. You have talked about some of it, um, and um, every once in a while someone will touch base on it, but it's nothing that's a constant. And one thing I find interesting that a few of those people that are named in there are associated with EcoShield. I think that's interesting, and also that Kaylee was the company she was part of that whole thing too,
I
and no
think
one talks
right
about that.
before I started thinking about, I mentioned, I don't know if you heard me say the shoot. Like, it was right before maybe you popped up, and I was like bubbly. I was like bubbly with now. And I do find a lot of very interesting. I mean, so Walter ended up in Vegas, like with all the frat boys with that company, right? Like,
Yeah,
why?
I mean the guy with the
And it's the
backpack that
front.
was standing outside the noise complaint. That noise complaint time down below the one with wearing the backpack that gave the Casey gave his card to. He's from Eco Shield. He's right up in there with and they're all in there. And Mason Bang, Xana's ex, Cole Barenberger, whatever his name is, Joe Walter. They're all um, Jake All, Fisher All. They're all there.
Oh yeah, the alt
So
family.
what?
They're in the DNA family
Oh
tree
yeah,
with
and they're big.
everyone. Yeah. So
Yeah, and they're with
Walter,
legislators, but
Bethany Funk, they're all
touch those
related.
guys. Yeah, but they're not going to touch those guys because they're deep in with the legislating and with the big families. You know what I mean? With the
Right,
monies and
right.
all that
They're
kind of stuff. They're not.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's why
which is
Brian is lucky. Even if
yeah.
Brian's related to anybody, I believe it's wholeheartedly Brian. They knew Brian was coming or whatever. I believe that I believe his professor is part of it. I believe a lot of things, but I believe it's all because they knew that they could pin this on him. And this was
Hmm.
planned. I don't think it was just like, oh, we can blame the loser. Like Brian's intelligent. He's not a loser in the minds of intelligent people, anyways. That's a fact. Um, the whole Eco Shield and Extreme Networks, that's huge in my opinion. And the ties to Texas, but remember, I don't even know if I ended up putting it. I remember I told you a while ago, and I probably said it to them, but the groomer and the Mundy, aren't they the same property like Burmer Construction, Mundy's, whatever?
And I don't, what about it? What about the
I
construction?
like, are they in the same area? Think of that little area that the Burmer Construction offices is Mundy's, whatever, automotive or something. Is that right there too?
You're kind of cutting out a little bit. So are you asking me if they're in the same area? Are they all in the same exact area amongst each other? Oh yeah,
Cool.
just all like literally they're all next to each other. They I mean without literally, you know if their lands touch, I mean, what they own and their properties and their shops and their businesses, they touch. And you know that Wasankari, this is what's interesting about the Wasankari too, is that they actually, their specialty is moving houses from place to place. In fact, they just redid the Pullman Bridge, like when that flood that happened a couple of years ago. It took that one bridge out and moved it like several inches down the river there, and so, or the creek or whatever it is. And they're the ones that actually, sorry, I had to let the cat in the car. They're the ones that actually moved it. And I saw the video. I have a video of it. I've been meaning to post it, but it's been months now. But I got so many videos. Excuse my French, but anyway. So,
Well,
so
I
what
think,
about you? About their involvement in it?
well, my question is because there's a younger Monday, I think that's Jacob Monday. I could be wrong, and I'm not looking at my papers right now, but Monday, and I don't know if it was Burma, but it was Monday and someone in Austin, Texas, that they live, and they live in like $1 million home for, and they're tied to the people in Moscow, obviously, but this money that these kids are having, even the guy, who's the kid from the fraternity that has all the cars? Is that a Mason thing, or do you know with Extreme Networks or whatever? One of the guys has like a G wagon. He has like a Lambo. He has all these cars. Maybe he's renting them. Maybe he's like not. They're not his, but he's got a bunch of pictures, and I know you know who he is if you've seen it, and I know you know because I didn't learn that all from you. So,
Well, Jake Alt, he's got his one of his things is alt luxury cars, so it could be him.
oh,
It
shit,
could
I
be,
think it is. I think it is.
yeah. So whenever they have like when they have a hashtag or they have alt and then like fragrance or alt and like luxury cars or alt and like sports clothing or golf clothing. It's like I feel like they use the word alt in front of it in order because also because Bitcoin changed to altcoin there for a while, and I don't know if it's still there. I think there's something different actually right now, but I think they do that to recognize each other so they can recognize. Alt in front of it. You're going to recognize who it is. You're going to that's part of my group, man. You know what I mean?
That's what the president's done with his coins too. I don't know. I wish I could know. I wish I had the money to know.
The what?
But I wish I had the money to know and understand like more. That's just like because these people are creating all sorts of things, and then the alt name literally is tied to the names of people I've looked up. Like I have alt as a DNA match to so many people. It's hard to explain that it's on like the right side of every person I pull up tied to any of this. Like I have several names, and it's just wild to me that it really truly is like we are. They say 6 degrees of separation. In my opinion, it's less than with all of us here in America. Like people are related a lot, but in that area, in this case, they're really related. And
Yeah.
well, that's okay.
I don't. This whole thing, as in who done it type thing, who done it.
I
Um,
stop little
what?
okay. My dog's doing that. There's a kid screaming their lungs out. It's little bit okay. She's not a strong kid. Little bit okay, mama. You gotta be good. She's like trying to organize like documents and stuff, and so it's all looking the window, and she's trying to get her little self into the window to stand and see what's going on.
Mhm.
Oh, Dan, you mentioned an insider. That's one thing that Olivia did say in her interview, though, that had me questioning. She said something about Brian Entin asked something about, have you guys been hearing this or that? And she said something that, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, right? Like, there's obviously a leak, and she mentions a leak, but she says it's from the defense side, and I just can't buy it.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
And I'm like, here we go. Like, you guys just, I respect them as victims, but when you can't stop yourself from spreading more, because everything Steve told us was a little percentage of true, but nothing enough to slam dunk Brian Koberger to being the dude that did, you know, from the start. He would say things, and portions of it were slightly true, but nothing proved the way Steve wanted it to be put.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't.
so you cut out periodically if you're done talking, and so because there'll be like a pause, and so I'm trying not to talk over you. So if that happens, it's just because I think you stop
I don't
talking, and then
know.
I start talking, and then okay, and then
I
you start
think,
talking, and it's
yeah,
like ah.
I think there's a delay. Like, I think there's a delay between.
Am I
I'm
echoing to you
sorry.
guys at all?
How did we sound, you guys? Were you let us know?
I didn't hear what you said.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Doug. Like, I'm not trying to talk over you, but I don't know if it's like dragging or how it's doing it.
So with the Olivia thing, I think that like when she I mean in fact I agree with you. This is like one of the most real I've seen her actually and felt like she's been the most real. But there was things on there that were just like, wait a minute. I mean, like you said, like with the bringing back that the defense, the whole thing that was not the defense, that was the prosecution, not the defense, and that leaked that stuff. So that's one of the things right there that ticked me off when she said it, just like you said. And that makes like her little three things that she says on there that she has in order for her to talk to you. She'll talk to anybody. Well, she didn't talk to me. I reached out. She didn't talk to me. So that I know that isn't true. But also the three things that she wants, there's three things that it's a must. These facts that I must know or we must agree on or whatever she wanted out of that one. And I'm thinking, but wait a minute, there's all these questions that you answered, family answered, other people answered that now we know aren't true. And so how we want to know those I want to know the answers to those, the real answers to those before someone starts putting stipulations on me of what needs to be we have to have in common on this. You know what I mean? Who has to have things in common in order to discuss something like this? I mean, that part made me mad.
I felt this because I felt like, in my opinion, what her real point was, it wasn't necessarily you really have to do that. In my opinion, it was like you can't be in her mind, a crazy conspiracy theorist with other beliefs. Basically, people like us cannot have a conversation with her because we can't. If we aren't having the same mindset from the beginning of whatever hers is, then we don't get a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to agree with those facts. She has to agree with her on 3 points, and otherwise it's not. It's a lost cause of even talking, right? Because we're not going to get along or whatever. I don't, everybody's got things to learn. We don't know anything in this case. As far as I'm concerned, the family doesn't know half the crap that they think they know either because of all the lies and the things that have been told and how they can keep feeling like this, no, like they're so superior and knowing what they feel that they know is beyond me because of the documents. I mean, it, if these documents aren't real, then they went to a heck of a lot of work to put these things out there and get these people to agree with doing this, getting their names out there, getting them in the limelight in this case. And you definitely don't want to be in the limelight in this case. That's for sure. So, I mean, that's all these things that why would they make this stuff up? I mean, why would they have all these names on there? Brian's name's not in there on that whole list. He's not even in there except for, I mean, it's crazy to me. I just don't understand it.
They're
Don't.
even her, everybody I hear talk about it, like she's even still making the same type of excuses that mainstream media makes. That it still all leads to him, and he's a loser, and he's this bad psycho. But at where can you prove and point to that being out of all the rest of the shit that doesn't point to him? Why is he still acceptable by the family members to be the killer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and how about that they have family too? How about that
It's
basically
not
he's
normal.
dying just like, yeah, like he's also going to be gone, basically death to him, just like they're having to deal with the death, and to not know this is on the up and up. I mean, is crazy to me if they would even think. I mean, I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not in their shoes. I can't say that, and so I can't say for certain. But me knowing me, that with the empathy and the things that I have going on inside me that are never going away, that I could not, no matter what people are saying this person did, I'd have to know without a shadow of a doubt that this guy did it. Especially with, I mean, I'd be reading everything out there, and if she says she's reading everything out there, then something's wrong. Something is very wrong, and we're not hearing the whole story. Like something else is going on, and why? And if that's the case, why aren't we hearing the whole story? Because it would make it if it's real, then it would leave us without a shadow of a doubt that he is guilty, but we don't know. You know what I mean? What do they know that makes them so sure that he's guilty that we don't know? That's what I mean. I mean, it's just like it makes no
I
sense to
think
me.
no, no, me neither. But I do think, and this is opinion, speculation, all that shit. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, even my dad dying of a heart attack and me knowing he went to the doctor all the time because of the last few years prior and he was fine. Like, I had to know. I stayed up for a week straight reading hospital documents, trying to understand doctor language because I had to understand how he died and why. Why? Like, why? And so, to me, we see, and they're claiming they only know what we know. We're seeing now excuses basically being made by that the families and why. And so, what what did they get? Were they paid off without a lawsuit? Is my question, because they had what I think 2 years to sue the city, and so I'm questioning: is this their mutual silent agreement that nobody's going to know about, but this is what they agreed to do and how to handle this entire thing?
I don't know, but like James just said, 500 million is plenty of a motive, and I mean, I know there was stuff that happened, and literally there's with what Kim, well, I think Kim said about the parallel to this case, the parallel cases, right? I believe that's total. I believe that's very, very true because there was a lot of things that were going on right around there. In fact, there was another kid from Lewiston who unalived himself on November 13th of 2022. A very well liked kid, good looking, raced
On the
motorcycles.
same day?
What's that?
The same day?
What I didn't hear. What is what?
It was it was November 13th, 2022. Same,
Yes,
same.
yes, yes.
And
In
that kid
Lewiston.
got, wow.
Yeah, good look. I mean, just literally loved by everybody. In fact, his funeral, watching it, and I mean, all the bikes that people he raced with, they all had this lineup all up the road. I mean, there were so many people there, and he's got TikTok, he's got all sorts of stuff. Now, I'm sure that's probably something that just came out that I just happened upon because I've been doing videos for the funerals and the memorials um of these people that have been
Yeah.
so long with us, right? And so for some reason, his just popped up out of the blue, and I've never seen him around anywhere before. And so it's quite possible that these things are not being suppressed anymore, which is interesting to me. But now that Lewiston's so connected with this case, in my opinion, it makes me wonder who this kid is. And, you know, why would he do something? I mean, he didn't even look like, I mean, you know how some people, if they're not doing well and they self exiting, you kind of have a feeling of it, right? He didn't have that feeling to me. I mean, he didn't have the look, he didn't have the feeling, any of that. Um, And so, and to this Gigi person, now she's tried to reach out to me several times to talk to me, and I'm just like, hell no. I mean, because I've already seen a bunch of stuff on her, and well, I refuse to even give her the time of day. But why are they giving her the
She's,
time of day?
she's fucking
I
Looney
don't
Tunes.
understand, huh?
Yeah, me
What was
too. And
that?
now I know what I know from the Lucy. Now I know what I know from Lucy's video.
Yeah.
You know that's the same person, right? Yeah. Well,
Well, I'm
I
now.
mean, she tried to get crazy with me too, and
Yeah, you're not trying to say she's that other person, right?
yeah.
Not trying to say she's the other person, right? She's a different
No,
person,
no,
but
no, no.
okay, okay. So, and that's what the Lucy's video. So now that's a whole other thing. Is I'm a little confused as to who's who on anymore. I mean, I swear to God, I'm just like, what? And I see my name up in that video. I'm like, wait a minute, am I the bad guy or the good guy? I mean, what are you guys looking at me like? I mean, it's like, I mean, I, I, I get to the point where, and it's sad. I don't want to feel like this, but I mean, I can't even open my emails because I'm afraid of what's going to be in my emails, and I've already had issues with it. And there's people I've read their stuff before many, many times, and it's people are changing up in here. It's like you can't. It's like who do you trust? And it sucks so bad, you guys. I don't even know. You know, Elle. You know what I'm talking about. And it's so hard. I don't want to not trust. I'm a very trusting person. I've been a trusting person all my life, and obviously with my family, it got me nowhere. But but that's a whole other story. But it's like I don't want to feel like that. And yeah, Lucy is Heather. Yes. And so I mean, I mean, how Heather, Lucy, whatever you want to call her, knows all the stuff and it's everywhere all at once. I mean, I mean, I'm not that I don't trust her or like her or any of the above. I just don't know who she is, really. You know what I mean? And
I don't.
so,
I can read this Morning Star. She drove up over to Lucy.
what's that? You're cutting out.
Can I get a genie bottle, baby? Because if I if you leave, girl, you just there she is, like a genie. I got some wishes, Lucy. Can you help me with them?
I'm not catching anything you're saying. I don't know if it's just me or if it's anybody. I mean, I don't. It's like really choppy, and it's like going up and down, like the volume. I mean, I don't. Is anybody else having that issue, or is it just me?
Yeah, I don't know. Because you're
Okay,
choppy.
Lucy just said I'm not the bad guy. Good. I'm glad to hear that because I'm just confused. I mean, it's like half the time. I mean, well, there's a lot of things out there, and I don't know about. I think you feel the same in a lot of cases, but I also sometimes feel that with you. Like there's a way everybody talks, and I'm not saying that it's a secret amongst people. Well, maybe in a little bit, but not to the point where it's scary. But when you get to know other creators and you have you go in the Discord and all that, you have a way of speaking with each other. You have little words that you use that mean something, that alert to something, or that might point to something that only you guys know, right? And so I'm not in Discord. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm just me. And so when I'm in a chat, a lot of times, especially with Lucy and you guys, like Lucy and Kane and those guys, I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, I can't even follow. I'm just like, what is going on? And I'm not a sarcastic person either. So sarcasm is tough for me. I mean, if it's funny sarcasm, but mean sarcasm, I don't get. I don't get. I'll never do it. Don't get it. Maybe a little bit with Jeff here and there, but that's about it. So I guess I won't ever do it. Right? I have to take back step on that one. Sorry. So
No, I agree, and I do. I think though, for the most part, I think it's more to the effect of like if someone was in a chat, like even when I first became a creator, it wasn't me being like someone m- mimicked my name, used one for an L or something, and and people know how we, and I think that's common. Even I'm not in a lot of chats every day anymore because it's just kind of overwhelming, and it can lead you down so many paths. So it's like everyone does have their own shit that they say, and we know, and it is. I get what you mean, though, probably, and I know it's not that you don't want to, it's not that you're trying to not be trustworthy of people. It's just you're when you don't know everything, you don't know everything, I guess. And it can come off wild, but I'm glad Lucy's here because maybe Lucy wants to. I'm just shocked. And Lucy, we were gonna watch your video, but it was long and a lot informative and a lot of like whoa, whoa. I didn't even comment yet because I was confused at what I might comment. But everyone has to go watch it. You can put the link if you want, Lucy, so everyone can watch it.
Yeah, I'm curious. So with some stuff like I've got questions about the video, and I'd like to ask some questions and have her confirm what they are because I don't. In this point, I don't know. I mean, I know that ML was brought up, and I don't know what really the whole thing there is. I mean, I only watched it once, so I know I have to go back and stop it and read and all that kind of stuff, which I did the first time. But I was also trying to set up the transfer for the GoFundMe, which is a lot more detailed than I ever thought. And I have to finish it tomorrow, but I mean, I haven't even done that yet. And so it's like, oh, thank you. By the way, thanks everybody. I mean, I can't even thank you guys enough. Elle, you too. I mean, with the GoFundMe stuff, I mean, I've been looking for a place, and I'm telling you, look today. Someone was in the Facebook thing saying that there's a place coming up open over here at these apartments, and I looked and I was like, these apartments are really nothing special. I mean, in fact, not even in a really great area. And it was $1,200 for a freaking studio apartment, and I'm like, and you had to have like a 500 for each pet, and and the same amount. I'm just like going, what is going on?
Don't do it. Don't do it. I'll talk to you about the pets. Do not write about a pet at all yet. I'll talk to you.
Okay, yeah. Well, I basically come to that point, that thought process, which is a lie. I'm gonna have to lie. But I mean, my God, my cat's been in my car for 2 goddamn years. She hasn't treated
Why?
the seat. She hasn't treated anything. She's been a perfect little angel, and so
You
she's
don't
not
have
gonna
to
steal.
lie.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'll help you. It's service animal emotional support. I'll tell you. How and you can tell them where you're not lying, and you don't have to. I'll help you.
Okay, good. Because I don't want to really lie. It's not fun lying.
No,
Because you
I
gotta
know
go
it's not.
over your freaking tracks all the time, man.
Yeah, but yes,
Yeah.
I agree. We'll talk about it. I'm glad you're doing that. And everybody, yes, thank you to everybody who was kind enough to, help absorb. And that's the goal of why much of us are here. And it brings me great pleasure and happiness to be able to know that Bubbly will be hopefully in a safe home with, you know, kitties and
Yeah.
everything. And
I mean, I
it's a blessing.
I'm gonna miss him. So, okay, Lucy, I don't really give a shit about what other people, what about her, other than to know when Molly's story changed and who, if anyone, helped her to get these new stories um about seeing Brian. I absolutely that. Okay, so Lucy, can we pick Lucy? Can we pick her brain now? Is that okay to do that right now? Lucy, is that okay to do that? Is that okay with
Um,
you? Or Lucy,
Lucy,
can you
can
come
you
up?
confirm or deny? I know Lucy doesn't prefer questions, but I don't know. Maybe it's a late birthday present for me that she might answer a couple first.
Oh no,
Right?
I'm not worried about that, Lucy. That literally, I just saw my name under a certain person's post on there, and I truly don't. I mean, it sounds bad. I don't want to be associated with her. You know what I mean? It's like I've not talked and been around that person for a very long time, and I don't even say the name out loud. Because of just because. And so when I saw that, I'm just like, oh, my blood pressure went. Whew. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad you're on here. I'm glad you're talking. But so oh my gosh, I have so many questions. I just wish I could talk to you just one on one and not amongst a bunch of other people because, like I said, I always feel like I don't know that everybody else has got some inside joke, not joke, but something that I don't know about, and that's how I feel on most of those chats. And that's why a lot of times, I mean, I don't really go in chats a lot because I feel like that. And I'm not
I need
because I'm not
to.
with a bunch of I'm not in a group of people, right? So yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to take over your live there, Elle.
I love it. I love it. I wanted you to be up here many moons of times. And Lucy said, and requested supplement discovery number 24, wanting all the communication from the state to the gram about Molly. Well, we could just go get Molly, like a normal person, go talk to Molly, like one of like people like us. That Molly's obviously a talker at most days of her life, and I mean, I don't know. I just wish Molly would talk and we would know. But I think from what I gathered, and I have to watch Lucy's video like 5 more times, but someone knew Molly was talking and gonna talk.
So you've done all the dives on the sidekick of hers and all that stuff, and thank you, Inside Your Bone. Hi everybody. Hi James. So I'm wondering if you've come across any other stuff on her sidekick, because there's some interesting stuff that I'm just here's the thing. I somewhat okay with how Molly grew up, amongst the people that she grew up with, and we're talking Lars, which is Janelle's father, who did that thing to that younger girl, right, for several years. I don't know if that stuff that's going to be kind of um, put in, added to this case, connected to this case somehow. I feel like kind of it is in a way, because there's all these separate little things that all rolled into one big thing, and that's when it just blew up. And so that all that parallel the cases, the parallel stuff, I believe that. I mean, I believe there was, because there's so many things out there that don't make sense, that these things are also part of what we're finding out now. Like the people that are being busted, and like people that are throwing in jail, they're now coming back with, these are like ammunition. They've got stolen guns, they've got ammo, they got all this other stuff. I feel like it's all coming together in that way. And I just remember what Steve said in the very beginning, when Kaylee came to me and she said she didn't realize how prevalent trafficking was out there, right? And I don't know why I whispered that, but I just had to whisper that. Probably because it's scary. And yeah, it just makes me wonder.
And the thing is, and I will say again, because I said it at the beginning and not many people were here, but the Coburn case is literally equivalent to like release the Epstein files. What the fuck are you guys hiding? In my opinion, just give us everything. Like the case is closed, correct? Like Brian's away for forced life sentences, and Epstein's long gone, allegedly. And I was told from the beginning, also, this all ties back to Epstein like situation. It's not Epstein himself in some way, but it's the trafficking part of it. It's the sick parts of this that nobody wants to talk about because it's uncomfortable. But we can't change anything in this world and how they and how we fight and combat this if we don't talk about the uncomfortable sick shit about it.
Yeah, and when certain things, I mean, you just like, I won't even talk about, and it's because I feel with safety wise. I mean, and it's I just I mean, look at the creators that have been out there that have like are gone. Lucy, you know what I'm talking about? The couple, the guy and the girl, woman, and I don't remember what their names are. Darn it, they had a great channel, and they were awesome.
Yeah.
And I know you know who I'm talking about. And they were, yeah, and I never can remember their name. I want to say Midnight something, but I know that's not it. But I mean, it's things like that where you don't know where the fuck they went, why they're not answering back, what is keeping them so hush hush, or are they even around to even talk? That is what is crazy right there. Now, there's something I heard. What was it? Uh, oh, about, who just did something on that? It was something about the about the. Oh, I know, it was on True Crime Designs. Okay, it's about Maddie. Um, is it her half brother, her stepbrother, or something, or cousin? Anyway, he possibly
Yeah,
was, sent
Zachary
to,
or something. Yeah.
yeah, wherever in the country. Right. Okay, so investigative reporting, right? And that's what Caden did. That's exactly what Caden did. And Jason Ray, he was going to be a cop. He had stuff. He was getting ready to be a cop over back in Milwaukee or wherever he was going back to. And he was a double major in criminology and in criminal psychology, set to graduate that December. Right then, like months, I think it was in July that he passed. And now it comes out that he also self-exited. Well, did he self-exit? Did any of them
No,
self-exit? That's
I don't think these
no, and that's
no.
yeah. I mean,
I
it's
think
just
that's a bunch
I
of
mean, they might have, if they want to call it that, if they're getting tainted stuff or whatever. And then again, where the fuck Emma? What the hell is she doing? Why aren't we hearing about her? Well, she's protected, and so is Demetrius, big time, because those are videos that are just keep coming off my channel, one after the other. Boom, boom, boom. Gone, gone, gone. Same with Baker's. His are coming down. Same with some of them that have the names of the Pullman cops in the videos. That one I just found out was down. And if they're not taking them totally down, they're cutting huge sections out of them. Like half of the video is
yeah,
just black. I'm
yeah.
like, what's going on, man? And so, but there's there's a few things. What are you laughing about, Lucy? I don't understand. Am I just because I'm all ramped up or whatever? I don't know. I mean, I don't ever know.
I think
This
you're
is
probably
making
just because you're right.
because I'm
The
what,
sad thing
Rowdy?
is that most of the stuff that those of us who've literally been here from the split, the things that we and most people don't ever want to even consider to have happened, a lot of it is actually what happened, in my opinion. And those that had ties to like being investigative journalists or ties to the newspaper. I even read something recently, Maddie had ties to that, like the paper in some way. And so
Yeah.
they're silencing people because if you open your mouth, you're silenced. And I'm sorry, but not at what school do so many kids kill themselves at every year? That's a problem to me.
Well, and so connected. Like this, even go back to that Wilhelm, the guy. He had the boyfriend. He was dating a guy there. He was actually, get this. He was actually at a party for Katie Benoit, which also was taken out by a professor that worked at U of I, and he was seeing her, and so he took her out. William was actually at her party, and it was at, guess what, a chick named, her last name Payne, Payne. He her It was at her apartment, and so now you've got um and and get this, I'm hearing something even crazier. So then in October, when these three Indian guys came through the town, they went on a crime streak for like a couple months, cruised through Moscow, stopped at the trailer park, bang, 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 and took like keys to a safe and took a red Camry. Have we heard about a red Camry or whatever? And a firearm, something else, and then drove to Nez Perce reservation, and those guys shot a couple, not a couple, but a brother and a sister. One guy was on the run for a while. I don't know if they caught him or not, but so they're young guys. They're young guys, and they cruised through Moscow, shot it up that whole day. If you go read that day, there's a deceased dog. There's crimson in the golf course bathroom. I mean, there's all sorts of things that happened that day as these guys were racing through town, and it's just like, I don't know. Part of the truth is that they take one truth and build a whole story from it. Oh, okay, so I mean, okay, so with me talking about this, where I'm putting this together, right? How does this? How can we not? I mean, I know it's. I mean, I know there's like stuff that happens, right? It's going to happen. This is going to happen in any town, right? Well, not even. You know what I mean? It's going to happen in a town. Period. Especially college towns. They have some weird stuff happening in college. So when you've got these people, and the trailer, the guy that they stopped at, and that's what I'm trying to get at, was this guy, Willem, that is gone. They never found anything but his skull, and it his ex-boyfriend's trailer. It was his place that they stopped at, and that was years ago that this happened to this guy. And they ended up stopping there in 2022. I mean, I don't. There's so much out there. This is the problem. There's too much out there, and I think they're trying to overload us on this with the documents. And I think that's part of their thing that they're doing as well. Is they're just overloading and making people's brains blow up like mine. Oh, sometimes I feel like it's just sitting on my shoulder.
So, you know, but I also think that if it were not for people like yourself, all of us that are still not just okay, we're not gonna just sit back and take what bullshit we were supposed to be fed. You know, we're like Brian sitting in jail saying, "No, I'm a fucking vegan and not eating your bullshit." Like that's what we're doing because it's not gonna. We don't accept. It's not acceptable in any realm of the world of what justice is supposed to look like. And if families want to accept it, that's on them. And if they have their own side reasons as to why they're, you know, allowing this or corroborating the bullshit with the law, there's a reason, in my opinion. 'Cause anyone with a brain knows none of this adds up. It doesn't add up. And if you, I don't care if people thought he was guilty or not guilty. At the end of the day, they are trying to overwhelm us, but also keeping shit back at the same time. It's like they're playing some kind of cat and mouse game, and that's not going to fly forever because one day, just like the Epstein files, one day everything's gonna have to come out because the case has been closed. Regardless of if Brian fights it or doesn't or whatever the truth has to prevail eventually. And if it doesn't, then we all got BK Ultra or some shit, and it's gonna be, you know, and the CIA files forever protected because otherwise we're gonna eventually know. So long we live long enough to outlive the creeps in Moscow.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. This is just true crime. Tell it. Don't you laughing about Lizzie? Tell it to Buzz and Elle Waters. That's good.
He used to
Yeah.
call you Detective Waters before, and I was like, I can't even call you now because people think if I say that, then people are like, she's a detective. I didn't know there was a Detective Waters. I'm for real.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk?
I was like, oh shit! Like, of course, I would be the person to stupidly name that of all names. But you're smart, and you were like a little detective when we first met, and I was like, shit, fuck. Of course, I would be. Of course. GFAM spread the most
Well,
misinformation ever. Why the state used? Of course they did. The state prosecutors they all used that family and Steve especially, and the shit he was putting out. They ran with a lot of, and they allowed him to back himself into a situation in which it became what it was till the day of sentencing, or you know when Brian said he took the plea. Brian Koberger did not confess. Not get it twisted also on the one unit. He never said, yes, I did it. He said, I'm taking a plea deal.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Like that whole thing. Like, and on the one I was watching, I don't know if it was anybody else's, but I mean, when it was supposedly he said yes, his face was blurred out, and it didn't even look like he moved his lips to me. But I'm gonna look at this real quick over here. Like, they're talking about in the chat here, um, about all these connections and stuff like that. Well, to this Colfax. And so, like, yeah, when the cop was in talking to Molly in the car, and she says, my dad was a health teacher, and he worked with side by side with Dare and with the football team, the U of I football team, all his life, basically, right? And when she said that, I'm like, what is going on? Because Heidi Lambley, the female cop in the Kopaka thing, she's down there asking Baker these random questions. I mean, how, is he skinny or fat? Is he, you know, how old is he? Where does he live? And then she out of the blue says, Was he a football coach? And I'm like, where the heck did that come from, right? Well, this has been not brought up in just those two things, but other things as well, this football thing, right? And so I'm just like, where is this coming from? Well, then you've got that Colfax, because she's saying that he wanted her to stay away from this Justin from Colfax, right? And then all of a sudden we hear about this Justin or Jimmy or whoever the heck, right? Now
Jimmy, yeah.
you've got, yeah, and so now you've got another one, that not another one, but a one that's been that lived in Colfax, who is out of prison now, and that would be Olin, Jason Olin, right? And he's the one that was sent there because he was doing stuff in front of the sorority girls, handling himself, you know,
Oh,
making himself feel better, and and peeping and stuff like that. Well, he is out of Colfax, but he's not listed as living there, but that's where he was residing at. And he, um, uh, in one of the videos I have where someone's interviewing Reagan, you know this, I pointed this out, where they're interviewing Jeremy Reagan, who's also in the freaking paperwork now as being tested, right? He's doing an interview, and his back, like the interviewer is standing facing the King House, and so Reagan's back is to the King House, and he's standing on the corner of Queen Road, right where that first apartment door is on the corner, and
hmm.
and he's facing the reporter, he's asking questions, and all of a sudden you can see him turn his head, Reagan, and he almost makes this look on. To me, this look is like an acknowledging look, like okay, like how someone will just very lightly nod their head as in recognition. I see you nod, type thing. I'll be right with you, nod. This He does that, and then this guy walks by. You don't see his face; you just see the back of him. He's wearing a hat. He's got his hands in his pocket, and there is a flyer out there, a wanted flyer with this guy on it, and he's wearing, I swear to God, the same thing. And his vehicle is a gold SUV, right? Which was also parked and drove by in the freaking body cam that morning in the house. He was parked in the back, parked behind their house, and it drove by very slowly. So why isn't that being brought up? And does Jeremy know this guy? Because they seemed like he knew him to me. The way he nodded, it's really kind of weird. Have you noticed that, Lucy? You know about Jason. I know you do, Elle.
She says, "What's the stats on Molly being two homicide scenes?" I can't. Listen, I'm not even just. But okay, Molly of all people, like how is she so Miss Magic Molly that she's at two homicide scenes with a two of three in a decade in the same town? How is Molly placed conveniently? I mean, most people, normal people, being at a crime scene is not a convenience, but for Molly and for some of these people that are getting away with lots of crazy, wild things in that area, that is a convenience.
Well, especially when she actually says it right at each arrest or at each pullover, right? It's like she's got this card, this wild card she gets to slap down every time she gets pulled over. And I get that part. What I'm wondering is, now, obviously, she's messed up on the stuff right now. She's messed up. She's been digging into it. Now, is this because of what happened to her? And I mean, not that it's okay, but just was this stemming from the first thing that happened? Where her husband was killed, or is this something she's always done? Has she always been like, hanging out with the wrong people? Possibly, yes. Then again, you've got who the heck is this, who else is Santa allowing this to happen and feeding off these weak people that are just continuing to do things that are killing them, and allowing it to happen for what? For what is he
That's
doing
the
this for?
problem, though. I think they're doing this with people that have addiction issues. And so
Yeah,
they're feeding into the addiction of many of these people. And when some shit pops off like what happened, they're not going to have blood on their hands. No matter what type of it, however it would have been, even if they, the least little thing that would tie anybody of power or of law enforcement, anything, like and Molly is unfortunately probably the biggest victim of all of this. Not in terms of that, not the crime, but in terms of victim of what they're doing with people with addiction, and they're allowing them to continue on their path while using them to benefit themselves. And do you think they care at the end of the day? And they'll slam her in a jail whenever they decide, or a prison if they so feel like it. But if she's a benefit to them, they're feeding her the drugs she's needing, and it's sad. It's just
Yeah. So I know that they're sticking them in those cells to clean them up at one point, and so that's how I feel. So that brings me to that one chick, Lucy. I don't know if you remember her, Brianna Phillips, I think was her name. That one is an interesting one. You should dive into that. Never once. She was in there for months and months, and not once did it say what she was in there for. Never listed anything. Yes, Molly's story. So the spike, yeah, the spiky red hair or whatever. When she said that, my first thing I thought about was Baker, because he was gifted a car from his sister by his sister, and you could tell it was either a silver or a gold sedan. And I mean, and him being up with the Kopaka thing and all that stuff, it just made me go, what? I don't know. It's just so, there's so much, so freaking much. And I do believe, okay, oh, okay, there's another thing. I read this article. No, it was a thing on Facebook, and it was a girl, basically a blog type thing. She was writing about. She was from the church. She was from Christ Church, but she lived in that trailer park next. And I don't know if it was next to their trailer. I'm not sure where it was next to, but she talked about um, there was a protest that she was doing, a petition having people sign it. And I think it was that trailer park that the guy bought that it just went bad, and they had to like move everybody out of there. But she was saying that what the guy did was, when there was no water, and the people complained about it, he would just evict them and not give them any money back. Just tell them, you're on your own now. If you said anything. But she claims that there was in a month, was it a month? There was 3 people unalived in there, and they were all 3 of them were all in this one particular trailer. 2 of them in one day on a couch in the living room or something like that, and one was gunshot. I don't know what the other one was. But I've been trying to find that dang thing, and I cannot find it. But anyway, if anybody thinks about it, they could probably. I mean, Lucy could probably find it if she finds everything. So, I mean, right? So.
oh yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's the sad reality is like this is just, and I don't want to say just in a disrespectful way, but this is one time where this is going on. Like in my mind, when I think, man, like gosh, how like this is how many? I mean, and it goes on. Like my issue that people have to, whether it's comfortable or not, to take a, we all have to have a reality check. And sometimes we have to reality check ourselves into, we don't want to hear the truth about some things, even if it's the world around us, because it's easier to not engage or involve ourselves. But this is just going to get worse if people really aren't aware of what they're doing, because you could send like people with children. Like I'm glad I'm not a mom. I would never let my kids do anything like this, because I don't trust people that I'm gonna send my kids to, and that's sad. People have to find a way of being aware and allow their kids to still live their lives, but be very aware, be vigilant when this is not some weird shit that just is starting. It's been happening. The things happening with these people of power and money, and those that don't have power and money, they're intermixed with them because of their life. Like, how do you win when that's how the vicious cycle is going?
Yeah. Yeah. But and just, I mean, you know, as I went gone through these court, different cases of different people when I was going through the Lake County Jail, and then looking their name up in I court, and seeing that these people on a first offense, where they maybe had a disturbing the peace or whatever, they're falling for a Rule 11 plea agreement, which means they're going to be their bitch for life, right? And things like that were going down. and it just and then cases that they were closed, and all of a sudden, oh, they're open again. Now they've got the person. How can they be open? How can they just rip open the case again when it's been closed? Because they've got the power of that, and obviously he's still, he's gotten away with it for many years. But I mean, but I have to bring back this one up too, about the first two guys that popped on the screen before Brian even got on the screen was Dylan and that Jason kid.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then there is freaking Grub Truck and Molly standing in the background. What about that? I mean, it's like, how can we not find these connections? How can this not be all something weird going on? That's all connected somehow because they're here. It's not like I'm making this stuff up. They're actually, I see them, and I didn't want to see that one. That was purely by accident, and that was literally by accident. I'm like looking for a car in the window behind him, and I'm like, oh, whoa, that's Molly, because I didn't know about Molly then when I made that video. I had no idea who she was. It wouldn't have even, it wouldn't have dawned on me to think, oh, there's this chick over here, blah, blah, blah. But then when I went back over the videos that I've been going over, and I see that, I literally, I mean, I can't tell you. I don't know if I jumped out of my seat or if I just got really, really still, and the hair just piled up on my arms. Literally, it was one or the other, probably the latter one. Because I tend to get really still, like, fight or flight. Mine's like, I was in a frozen shock phase.
I was just gonna say frozen shock. But you're right, and I think that it's scary, it's disgusting, and it's sad that this, and I'm sure many places across this country, this is actually in like little, rundown towns like Moscow, Idaho, where everyone knows your name. And you're either someone or you're not, and they're using people and abusing people, really. And it's scary. The most scary part is the kids that are, oh, Paradise Creek. I'm sorry, the shit isn't. The math ain't nothing for me with any. And now you have the spotlight, the nationwide worldwide spotlight on Moscow, Idaho, and they failed tremendously. And it's my hope that because of that they feel a little bit of pressure that they can't continue. But then again, when you have to cheapen sending their twins, because they're twins, not triplets, back to that school. I mean, and then I showed at the beginning of this Moscow PD log, and a girl called just the other day, about hazing at one of the fraternities. And Ethan's birthday would be in 8 days from today, and it just reminded me of what goes on during this time of year in those parts and at universities. And people, if your kid's got to be in a sorority or fraternity, I mean, so this now I have to say, and this is me as an adult, because I guess I would have thought being a sorority girl was cool back then, because I thought it was so cool to hang out with big Mackay guys way back, 20 years ago. But now I look back and I'm like, I would not want my kid to be part of any of these. And some kids get involved because that's their goal. Like they aren't on the same level as like the Chapin kids or something. But those are also the ones that I think disappear more than anything, because they're the ones that might talk more than anybody.
Oh yeah, well, that damn straight that the guys running on Banfield, Caden was in, and so was Jason in the same fraternity, right? And Lake Campbell, Lake's in and Saeed, they're all in the same one. I mean, for Christ's sake, Saeed and Lake Campbell, and Emma are friended with all of those guys. Molly, Jimmy, Matt, Jimmy, whatever, several different names. Got Hollowell, you got all sorts of names for him. They're friended with all of those guys. I mean, it's crazy to see that. But the thing with this that that Lucy was saying is that they changed the outcome of this trial with their input they're putting in there. Oh, let's change Molly instead of seeing just a white cold car, whatever color car driving by. Let's just say Brian pulled up behind her and she saw Brian, right? There's a reason why and this also makes me feel like it's being put on. Like, was this put on for us to see? Were these like staged body cams of the cops so that we would be able to see it's going to be documented that she actually saying this stuff on this. Well, the way she brings it up is kind of sketchy. I mean, unless she's just pulling that wild card, and that's what she's always doing. It just seems to me like what is going on? It's like then the way she says it. Oh, it's kind of like how Heidi Lambley all of a sudden threw in was he a football coach? Kind of like what Molly's doing. Oh, I'm there. I'm supposed to be testifying in the Brian Kober case. I'm just like, what is going on here?
Yeah. At the right perfect timing, multiple. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
flew in here to this case right before it was about to get serious before.
So I mean, literally,
you can't make this shit up. It's bullshit. You can't make it up. But you said something. You can't change the outcome though if you're the taping, right? The only people who can change the outcome are the ones who need to because it benefits everybody involved. And then we sit here questioning, like you just said, but to Stacey Chapin and those type of people of the world, it didn't matter because you can't change the outcome because what's done has been done. And all that matters is not their problem. It's the law, it's the prosecutors, it's the state of Idaho. It's not their problem now because what's done is done in the biggest sense of the word. And that's really sick.
Yeah, so look what Lucy's saying here. 15th of May, state and defense got a preservation order from Hitler. 16th of May, Molly was the first name publicly that did not make it to MSN for a whole month because I believe because it was in that other guy's that Officer Axon or whatever, and then Translucent down to okay, so not until after June 13th, Translucent's second MM video. Okay, so this is my question, and now at this point. Did she know? Are you under the impression that Translucent knew all about that video and that video was put out when it was supposed to be put out? Is just exactly how they planned it? Is that exactly what you're saying? Because that's kind of what I'm getting with the throwing down. Shit, your phone's not going to die. No. Yeah, because it's all and this is why there's so many coincidences because they're making them happen. It's like there's all these. It's like they all have their part in it, right? Okay, it's your time, just like in Grub Truck. Okay, that in my opinion was 5 minute warning. The guy's gonna come pick up the girl. 5 minute warning. Everybody get your, if you're wherever you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do. Make sure this is your 5 minute warning. If you're supposed to leave now, get your butts out of here, so on and so forth. I mean, everything in there. And just like with Hayden, that girl that kept picking Hayden Bill up, right? The reason, if you go back and you watch that, pay freaking attention just to that, or not to them. Sure, watch when they do it, but as soon as they start doing it, watch what's happening around them because they're doing it in order to distract you from what else is going around them. If not them, you should be looking at it. Everything else going on around it, and that is what's crazy. It's just like there's so much of that, and I mean, every freaking person's account of this is like off and it's backwards and it's 1 minute this and 1 minute that and it's like how can anybody think this guy how can they put him up in jail or in prison for this when there's nobody's even telling the story? There's nothing concrete. It's all abstract. That's it. It's all abstract. There's nothing concrete. Right down to the goddamn sheet. Have we not seen anything on that sheet? They ordered it. I mean, did they order it just so they had it? What?
Where's the chief? Like, I want to see. Have we seen it? Like, the chief?
And I mean, they didn't have to order one in order to have one. I mean, come on. Rosendahl probably has one. He was in the service. Payne's got one. Anybody that was in the service has a sheet on there, but they had to order one. Why? Couldn't they just clean up one of theirs that they had? I mean, they probably already did that. I'm pissed now. Yeah.
I saw an AI sheet. I saw someone and I was like, holy shit, is that for real? Is that the, and I was like, it says KOH, like B dash something. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, 5 seconds later, I was like, that's bullshit. Like, that's not real. And it was AI. That's the problem though. But they're not even smart enough to make some shit up a long time ago. They were waiting till the very last minute. Why? And it makes me question, was Brian in a way, if he's not anybody tied to any government agency, I believe he's still whole because otherwise, then what I was told might be true. Ethan was told, Ethan allegedly knew he was the sacrifice. Why anyone would be okay with that? Well, I guess because you're programmed to be this way since birth or something. But I don't know. That's my just, brain talking out loud from things I know. But then if Brian was also a sacrifice by literally being like a sacrificial lamb, like, yep, I did it and I'm gonna go suffer for it, then that's even sicker. But the problem is people don't realize that people are grooming kids every day in these families of certain types, a lot of elite families, bloodline families, like they're doing this and people don't want to believe it until bad things start happening. Well, I don't know, but it seemed pretty easy just to blame like the drug addicted families for everything off the top for the public because that's easy for the public to do. But I can't listen to Stacey Chapin say another word and look at how her two twins look at her and believe that something's the things in that family are already right. I feel it in my bones. And so people aren't wanting
Well,
to realize
I'm glad I made
this
that
is
video
bad.
because it got people. I'm glad I made that video I did the way I did because it got people talking. And there's so many comments on there, and I'm glad I did that because it literally got. I mean, I was like, whoa! People are like crying, just screaming about this stuff, which I'm glad they are because it's about time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people
Yeah,
should be. We should all be questioning how Brian Koberger, I don't care what he did, what he said he did, what he pled to, because I don't buy it. And I have the knowledge and the wherewithal to know people do things with the law that they got to do for their life and for their family. And it's not easy once you're locked up in the system to get out of that system, no matter who you are at that point.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
scary.
Well, and I know that I mean, firsthand, not me, but a family member who, um, and I later looked it up. Like when I finally learned how to do that kind of stuff, I looked it up to see why he was in jail and prison all the time because I never understood it because he's not a bad guy and he didn't do the things or he didn't do things that I thought would render him to be in jail and prison, you know. And when I looked it up, he had two DWIs, and I'm like, okay, so how did this work? Every time he got out of jail or prison, couple days, maybe a week, he'd be back in there, accused of doing something that he couldn't have done because he was in prison when it happened. And it's like literally he spent 20 plus years in the system over there because he couldn't get out of it. It was a revolving freaking door. And when they've got you, they've got you. And especially people that don't have money, that can't afford counsel, especially the counsel. The counsel's already, the counsel's in pockets. I mean, they've all got lined pockets and they're going to do. I mean, I mean, when Mabit's son passed away, my first thought was she messed up on that one interview she did. She didn't make us believe what she was supposed to make us believe, and I still feel to this day that's why her son's gone. And I mean, that's probably not right, but then again, maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a lot.
What are we
It's
talking
a lot. And I, you have to question, like, I get it. Some of us have imposed and we said things that obviously we're not all right about everything. We might be very right about a few things, but I get it as a family member of any of these kids, right? Obviously, they have their right to be angry. They have their right. But then again, the two families who did allow their in some way or shape or form to have touch with the outside world, the media, the whatever, crime con, whatever. Um, like I said about Olivia earlier, in a sense, like we all are here because we care, obviously. Not all of us are just a bunch of psychos trying to, be psychos. Like we care about the truth, we care about justice. And it really kind of just really bothers me sometimes when I mean, I understand to an extent how they feel and listening to Olivia and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, I can't fathom being pissed off at the world that helped or wanted truth and justice for someone I loved who got taken from this world way too soon. And that's where it kind of gets me, and it makes no sense that, yes, people are mean on the internet. We all know that. People are Looney Tunes. We know that. But when families aren't fighting as hard as the public who never met these kids that are fighting, it begs the question, why are we doing it on their?
Yeah, stemming back on how they're getting people to do these things, like um, like Lucy's, like she's saying in here, is like, the books are coming out before anything's even happening. Well, there's two more that I saw today on Facebook. One was called Brian Coe, Kohl, and the other one is another one for Brian Koberger, written by Melissa Koberger, right? These are books that are, and then there's even a review on that particular one. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. This is crazy. So, you can remember in the police reports before all this was happening, they had people were reporting that they were getting calls or knocks on their door that they were going to be arrested, or they had a warrant or something because they did jury duty. There was FBI that were not claim knocking at their door, cops, um, lawyers. There was one huge major one. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, I mean, it was so scary thinking that these people would be knocking at your door or calling you. And this is what they're doing. This is, you think that the other people in jail are have witnessed intimidation. These are literally your lawmakers. These are like the people that are supposed to be protecting you. These are, the bullies in blue. These guys. It's, I mean, how would you, man? How I'd be frightened. I mean, I would be scared to death always in that town. I wouldn't go to sleep. Tell you the truth, there's no way I'd ever
Yeah,
be.
no, I know.
I'm not gonna
Even if
drive
you're a
within
good guy, yeah, I mean,
that
you're
state.
scared either way.
Yeah, it's nuts, nuts.
But
And just
I do wonder, I wonder, like, in my opinion, eventually, Molly's, all the dominoes are going to fall down for Molly some way, somehow. Good, bad, or indifferent, however it happens. Molly's going to either fall apart one way, or she's going to fall apart one way or another. And the truth is going to prevail because of Molly falling apart eventually. And that's why she's probably the most heavily, which is ridiculous, the most heavily protected person on like the Pacific Northwest. My guess, like legit, because they can't let her do this. So she's probably would love to see Molly's like because I swear, I think that I think Heather said something to this effect. Like, Molly is their story. Like, Molly's the story. And Molly
yeah,
knows.
yeah.
And I think it's a slap in the face to the public that has any sense of anything that we see this and they think, just like they thought we weren't going to care as to whatever was going to happen. It's a slap in the face. Like, we're not ignorant idiots. Like, we see what something is not right. Like, I mean, these people go to jail for 5 seconds for things people would go to jail for the rest of their life for 5 times over.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I
Well,
walk
you
down
guys, I've got.
drunk or throw a soda,
Huh?
I go to jail. If I throw a soda can at a ex-boyfriend, I go to jail. Like, Molly's and all these other people who are putting people in danger, kids. That's cool.
Well, the thing is, though, because Molly is not, she's not going to be special forever. Molly's going, she's probably getting one of those people that either disappears, something's going to happen to her because she's no longer going to be of assistance to them, and she's going to be disposable just like everybody else in that town and everybody else in the surrounding town. And that's the problem right there, is that no one's really protected if you think about it. I mean, the only reason he's protected is because he's doing what he's supposed to, and whoever's telling him what to do. And I mean, it goes on down the line, right? And so, oh, by the way, I was going to say, they're saying that people thought, Lucy said people thought she was Jules. Well, I got you all beat on that one. People thought I was, that one person, and they also thought I was Justin. Forever they thought I was Justin, because I remember my throat was so messed up, my voice, because I was living in that place where people were smoking, and so my voice was all rough and harsh and stuff. I was like, yeah, you guys think I'm Justin? Remember
It's
that,
okay.
Elle?
This voice annoys everybody every day, all day in my comments. They tell me about it. I do remember that.
It's like, oh my God.
I think it's funny because there's like so many people out there that think so many people are like one of maybe five other people. And it's just funny because it's like, this has been an experience to say the least. This whole quite the experience.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who anybody is anymore. I just try to stay on my side of the tracks and just whatever side that is. I mean, whatever side, I'll jump over the other track if I think they're going to be on the other side. I'll just keep jumping back over just to stay away from them. Whatever. I mean, I'm just like, I'm not in it for that. I want justice. They're not. There's no justice in this case thus far. None for them, for the victims, for Kaylee and Maddie and Dan and Ethan, or for the other people involved that were unlike prior to this and after it, during it, same day. Um, any and all of them. I mean, there's no, yes, it does. It always comes back to same bloodlines. You're right, it does. Just like Elle's been saying this whole time. A lot of us have been talking about that elephant preaching it forever, but it's like, and I have a friend who's actually just, her and the DNA, she's just stuck on that. She's got to know the DNA thing with why it was so similar to, Ethan's this bloodline type thing. Well, it's interesting because some of these names, I don't know if you guys have come across that, but in the names that they've been in these the document there's a couple of them that are connected to the, one of the families in this case, right? And I find it very interesting. I haven't dug any deeper than just knowing that part yet, because, like I said, there's just so much. I'm like a squirrel, I don't know about, and I know Elle's kind of like that too. I mean, these new things come out. I'm like, no, I'm not finished with this one yet. And it's just, and I don't think we ever will. There's just too much. It's endless, right?
Yeah. And I don't know how my hope would be, my prayer would be that if there's something that comes out, which I have been trying to force myself to go back to the DNA, the family trees of that people I've done, and then start off with like I need to look further into the Chapins, further into the Florence, further into the Mortensons, but there's other names I need to look into now too, and it's like I guess it's hard now that he's arrested, but it should be even more the motivation. It's just the crazy chaos has ensued due to this case. It makes it overwhelming. Every day I'm like, I gotta stay up all night and I can just get this done. Like I can get answers because I'm working with fresh eyes. And there's something about this piece that's just I want justice just like everybody else, but there's something like a fog over it, or like there's something that's just like not there for me, and it's sad and it bothers, and I want that feeling to go away, you know?
Vaseline over your eyes, It's like, but see, that's what they're doing. So that's how I feel with these documents, is that they're just smothering us in this stuff, and most of it means nothing. But they're going to put you on another track, just like during when the election's up, and they're something major is going on over here, but they're going to start something else major. So you're looking in this direction, so this one will get past you, kind of like how the crypto did on during this time, and other things. These things are going to be, you're not going to look that direction because there's something big over here going on, and so that's also scary because they've been doing this the whole time. Every time when you can always tell. In fact, it's pretty obvious when someone's getting close, or something's getting close, or something's about ready to hatch or whatever. They hatch a whole new path, a whole new road. I mean, they're busy building roads right and left, and they've got roads already set up, but they just haven't, cut the yellow tape yet to,
That's the
you
thing.
know,
That's the thing that I heard. Even like what happens now, like our government has allegedly planned every crazy thing that's happened, like good, bad, or whatever. Like they've already had this plan, and so that makes me feel like we're supposed to have been distracted by other things to let this situation just, fly by, fly over our heads. And that didn't happen. And I feel like that's why it feels like we're living in utter chaos. Like I don't recall ever waking up, and I literally just don't recall ever waking up and feeling like I literally live in a country that God knows who knows what's going to be happening when I turn my TV on to eat. Like, and I only watch YouTube, but I watch YouTube as far as like if they're sharing like the the BS on the news because I just want to see. But I listen to kids like younger than me that are like smart about politics and things. But I can't turn my TV on and even just go to look for some peaceful thing on YouTube without seeing a bunch of crazy, wild happenings in this world right now. And I think that how many more distractions are we going to have before the big something happens? And I don't want the big something. So I'm not trying to like manifest stay away big something. But all the people with power want us to look over here while what on earth is actually happening over here. God knows what, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I still feel, I can't help but feel that there was a reason why all of a sudden he's pleading guilty to this, and around all around us in all these little towns, things are connected to, and these people, there's things happening everywhere. I mean, I on my like I've literally clicked like on all the cop shops in every town surrounding there, and towns even beyond that, and it's just flooding articles coming in. I mean, I can't even keep up, and they're just one thing after another, bust of all sorts of drugs, but of lots of ammunition, a lot of that kind of stuff. And remember that there was the U.S. Marshal Hold there in Whitman the same time that this was going down because of the guys that were stealing ammunition and guns and gun parts from the Spokane base, from Fairfax or whatever it's called. And yeah, and that guy also, they were initially they were looking into that guy. They had someone on that guy because of him distributing other things, as in humans. And then all of a sudden, he meets up with his friend. He introduced this guy to his friend, who was the one taking the ammo from the freaking base out there, right? And this is the whole time. This is when what's his face Jonah, all that stuff with Jonah as well. In fact, I thought Jonah was messed up um with the ammo at first. Was he? Did he have something to do with the ammo on that one too?
I don't know. Jonas said I was looking at Jonas all that yesterday, like again, because I just can't. I cannot convince myself that that has no truth. Like I just can't. I really can't. I feel it in my bones that Jonah Chapin has something to do with this. But I've learned so much about how these people claim kids and what they do, and I don't know that Ethan's their child. I don't know. I don't know what these people do. It's just very odd to me that you get that name and the time frame of the song name. And maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's pure coincidence, but like every other coincidence, like how many do we count? Like that all seemingly have something eerily tied to this case. And it's too coincidental to not be something. But
Yeah,
they don't want us to know. And maybe these people don't know. I'm starting to believe we're all literally just supposed to be like, they want us to feel like we're going crazy. And at the end of the day, is it really much more simple than what we've ever seen? Maybe that's the case.
yeah. Sometimes it sucks to be woke. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
how much,
Because
and
you
just like
think every which way.
be a narcissist where you didn't even give a shit what you talked about, what you did to anybody. I mean, God, is their life easy or what? I don't know. I'm not one of them, so I have no idea. But you
Me
sometimes I think about
neither.
that. Think about that. God, how easy would it be to not worry about what anybody, any of that stuff? You just, your head hits the pillow, and 30 seconds later you're sleeping because you don't have a care in the world. You don't have a care in the world. Of course you're going to go to sleep just like that.
Brains are off, and I'll be like, I'll piss someone off that I'm not fond of, or a stranger. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel bad about that. Like, people, and that's the thing though, and I think that that's why we all, if, we do believe it to some extent. This is some kind of social experiment. I'm not saying these kids are not long, sadly gone, but I do believe the outcome of this has been some kind of, at this point, experiment because of the reactions of people like you, people like me, and then the extreme opposite of like that Gigi lady, the girl. I mean, that's a wild person, and I'll say that loudly and proudly because she has tried to attack me too. I don't care. I think that's insane. I think people have taken some things way above and beyond, and yet the good ones get called out for what caring about kids that are related to these people that call people like it's sad. But
Yeah.
cult mentality,
I don't know. I just think
cult mentality.
basically what they're doing is they're making this. You guys know what a kingpin is? It's a kingpin. Oh, a rat king. It's called a rat king, and a rat is gross. So if you don't want to hear this, it's not the less gross side of it, but it basically happens to rats and mostly rats, in when there's an abundance of them, and they all sleep together, and when they're all together and they're all wiggling around, their tails get all entwined, and they can't break loose from each other. So they basically end up eating each other. Last rat standing, I guess. But that's basically what they're doing. They're building. They're over there crocheting and knitting us stories is what's in their little crochet knit web. So we can't
Yeah,
move it or get out of it or figure out which part is gonna this part or this part because there's so many moving parts and they're all pretty much legit, really, in one way, shape, or form. But maybe not connected to this, but they're still legit in a way. But it's like, I mean, it's just a mess. It is a freaking mess. That's what it is. It's a mess, and it's all
yeah,
and it's made up. And that they're the ones that built that freaking um, tower of a pizza, and then as soon as it was baked, they just took it and squished it all together and moved it all around on there, so everything's all together. They built it and then just moved it all around to make it confusing for everybody, and it's mind-boggling to me that they're getting away with this. For one, that blows my mind. It blows my mind. I mean, that there's nobody out there bigger up that can do something about it. At the end of the day, they got kids to take care of. They got meals to make. They've got a soccer game to go to. They've got a big meeting the next day, or whatever. They want to sleep some sleep that night, so they don't have the time to take care of that. Which every town's got their problems, right? Every person's got their job to do. I mean, I just, ay, ay, ay. At the end of the day,
well, and then there's those of us who somehow somehow we've attached ourselves to this. It's really, in a sense,
yeah,
someone else's reality, but it's also our
heavy side,
reality. And
yeah,
if we have kids, this means something. And whether I have a child or not, I have friends with kids, I have family with children. They all have to grow up in this world, and the world I'm looking at with my eyeballs every day is looking like a lost cause, like about to be really, really not good very soon. It's bad right now. But I think that's the whole thing. And as much as I guess some of us can feel like defeated at times and like we don't have answers, we can just do what we do. And as we can keep talking about it because, I mean, I wish the coworkers would say something so we would get the feel, do they want help? Do they need help? Instead of feeling like if someone attempts to contact and, yeah, if they want help, I would hope they'd by this point ask for help. So that's part of my raising questions. Like I raise my eyebrow, like, well, okay, like at this point you can lose your mind. Your kid just pled guilty to 4 life sentences, but not everyone acts like the same as I would act or you would. So it's just really,
yeah,
I think the point is to be a literal mind F. And I think that those of us who can still be here and fight for whatever's right, whatever the truth is, we got to, because lot of people have already moved on, and a lot of people that are here still are just bullshitting and making things up every day as they go. And I mean, to me, I don't know how people sleep through it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
hard,
to say,
well, the thing is too, I mean, there's so many things that, like I said, like I've got tons of stuff, content I've never put up. And for one reason or another, maybe it's not at that point, it wasn't something that maybe could go up at that point, or maybe it was a little too much and I needed to alter it, edit it, or do something like that once something else came out, or whatnot. Well, now that I'm going through these things, I'm literally finding things on the people they're talking about in my other videos that I've never put up. And so it's like, it's these things. So if that's the case, how, if this is all made up and then none of these people are connected, how could they look that far into the future and know that that was one person they were gonna pop in there and into this case? How did they know that? So those are things that's what I'm saying. Is like with the coincidences, how could it be that way then if it's not something that's literally happening and is just naturally, organically unfolding, and they're just unorganically, or whatever, however you want to put that, making things up to make it so it's not organic anymore, to make it look like it's not. And it's just, I feel sorry for them. People that are brought in this place that have that. I mean, I look at these the girls in these movies, the things that they're putting out, these shows and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, I would be, if I had to do that, and if there was, because there would be no way I would do something like that if I didn't believe what I was saying, right? Absolutely believe what I was saying and see it for my own eyes. Now, if this is something being told and they're just saying this because they want to be on TV or whatnot, I heard they weren't getting paid, so that couldn't be it. But it's like, why would they do that? And aren't they scared every day, thinking, well, what if I talk about this to someone and tell them I was lying in that show? I didn't. None of that's true. They made me say that. I mean, aren't they afraid? Don't they look over their shoulders every day, all day long? I would.
that's the point though that I think that people aren't correlating. The the drug aspect can still be very heavily part of this case in any case. But what I think people continue to overlook is the facts that I, not facts because I can't say the facts, but the details that I was given long ago that shocked me, shook me, that I never ever would have thought I'd be hearing. The problem is what's become a thing now that some people are finally coming and talking about is what these upper class, very upper class elite families, how they raise and or groom their children. So they're not acting scared and they're acting in a manner in which they do what they're told and that's their life and they're raised and groomed to be a certain way. So we see them as like, in my opinion, like the seeing Hunter Chapin show up and not run to the house or run up to a cop. To me, that's weird. If the house was on fire and my dog's in it and running into the house and or gonna be stopped by police, like you're gonna ask questions. Why didn't he? That's just they didn't look normal, and that's where everything I've learned because of this case comes into my mind and into play. That we're not supposed to know that a lot of these kids are raised into these high profile elite families, bloodline families, families that have a way that you are raised and you don't act a different type of way or you're actually. Hey there, bud. Yes, to know. We will be taking very bud. Maybe bud. Glad you guys are all here. It's been a good conversation. Sorry if I've been trying to post your guys' comments and I know you guys are great at talking amongst yourselves. But I appreciate you guys all for being here. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. I love going to you, Kathy, for every little breakdown of what's going on. I totally love your channel. Be sure to go follow Kathy if you guys don't already at Kathy's Indie Zone. It's okay, Bubs. It's okay. My dog's like finally passed out, knocked out, but my headphones are probably gonna die soon. So you guys, I really am so grateful that you guys all showed up. I really think we talk about some important and necessary things in this live, and I know some people who show up and or hear this like replay crew, you know, not everyone can handle some of the things we discuss here, but I just want to remind everybody it is all speculation. We're just throwing out our thoughts and opinions and never ever intending to offend anybody. Um, but again, like I said, I do believe when people put themselves out there to the public has a right, and we have our First Amendment right to speak so long we are not awful people in doing so, speak our minds and have discussions. And this is what we need to do versus just getting pissed off at other people for their opinions, and we can all discuss things. So I really appreciate you guys for being here. And thought this wasn't going to be long, but I literally love you, TK. Thank you for being here. Text me or I'll text you. Love you, girl. Thank you so much. But yeah, I just appreciate you guys. And again, I will always tell you guys I'm kind of all over the place. I try to be as prepared as I can, but I enjoy the conversation. And you guys kept me here for 3 hours, and I was like, this can be like 45 minutes. I'm gonna get to the point and be done. But I appreciate you guys. And honestly, if we can all chat and be kind and have conversation with all the members, so I appreciate you guys so very much. And I just ask if you guys, I'm gonna go eat something and I'm gonna get back to work and make this video. Hopefully, I'll have it out by the end of the day tomorrow. On the Chapins and some of their statements that they've made, and it just probably will be better in a video. So I'm gonna be working on that for you guys, and I hope to be live in the next day or so again because I love chatting with you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you all for being here. I'm not gonna say all of your names, but I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Little says love you, TK. And you guys, all we can do is be kind to each other, be kind to others, and keep fighting the good fight. And you know, standing up for what's right. And when we see something, we say something, and we can do everything we want to do. We can do it in time. And thank you so much, Bubbly, for showing up and coming up on panel. Love you, lady. We will talk, buds. Yes, Kathy, I'm so glad you're here. I am going to be sharing a lot more in the coming days, I hope. So long I don't have to take a little exit out of town. But if you guys would also keep my stepdad in your prayers, I would really appreciate that. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you guys already know. Obviously, it's a hard topic for me. I love you guys so very much, and you guys are all beautiful people. Keep being beautiful. Love you guys. Thank you for showing up, and we will talk soon. Thank you, thank you. Love you. Little says, love you guys. And I'm shocked she's not on top of me right now. We love you and stay safe, you guys. Thanks, Bud, for coming on here and sharing your thoughts. Come back anytime you want. And any of you, I'm happy to do so. I love having this because I don't want to talk as much and I get to hear your voices. So I love you guys. We will talk soon. Until next time, y'all, have a good night and have a happy Tuesday tomorrow. Bye, y'all. Thanks, guys.